help with reduced rent during that time, but things haven't improved because customers keep parking on a poorly marked bus stop outside her shop and getting parking tickets.
British scientists have taken part in a pioneering new procedure that has enabled a paralysed Polish man to walk again. Cells capable of regeneration were transplanted from the man's nose into his spinal cord. The treatment was carried out by surgeons in Poland with help from experts in London. Heathrow Airport says about 10% of flights will be cancelled later today because of severe weather. Strong winds are expected when the remnants of Hurricane Gonzalo sweep across the UK. More from Nick Qureshi.
The hurricane caused widespread damage and a power blackout last week when it hit Bermuda. Forecasters here say coastal areas will see winds of up to 75 miles an hour, with gusts of around 65 miles an hour predicted inland, bringing disruption especially to travel. Heathrow has confirmed around 130 flights, with the 20 biggest carriers in and out of the London airport will be cancelled. British Airways says it has cancelled a number of flights and has advised passengers to check their bookings online. Virgin Trains says the heavy rain's likely to affect travel during the day.
The founder and former leader of the English Defence League, Stephen Lennon, is back in jail. A statement on Facebook from his supporters said he'd been recalled to prison for 28 days for responding to a threat on Twitter. Lennon from Luton was sentenced in January to 18 months in prison for mortgage fraud. He was released in June under licence. The musician Raphael Ravenscroft has died at the age of 60. He was behind arguably the most famous saxophone solo of all time. The Hook from Jerry Rafferty's Baker Street, performed by Raphael Ravenscroft, who's died at the age of 60. In sport, Manchester United drew 2-2 at West Brom in the Premier League last night. There's a full Football League programme tonight, with matches for Watford, MK Dons, Wickham, Luton and Stevenage. The weather, the wet and windy conditions should clear, followed by sunny spells and scattered showers. Staying windy and feeling much colder, though. A maximum temperature 14 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/Three Counties.
Today on BBC Three Counties Radio.
From 9.
The JVS Show.
With the big phone in, the hottest topic of the day, and your consumer problems. From 12.
Nick Coffer.
Relationship advice with Katerina Jurtson and live music from the brilliant Danny and the Champions of the World.
From 3.
Roberto Perroni.
I'm here with a roundup of the day's news, the latest travel and your stories.
From 7.
Three Counties Sport.
With a full set of fixtures, we'll bring you Watford, Stevenage, Luton and MK Dons commentary.
Today on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hang on, my computer's... Here we go. Morning. We're all feeling a little bit sparky. Full of spunk this morning, aren't we, girls? Aren't we?
Always.
Always. Catherine, what are you doing? Are you doing your homework?
I'm just looking at this very long letter. We're going to be perusing in just a few minutes' time.
That's right, guys. We're going to be perusing a letter live on air.
Yeah.
Yeah?
There's nothing you can do about it.
What are you going to do about it? Oh, they've switched over. Bye. Lots on the show this morning, including Hemel Hangover continues. There's a woman in Wendover Woods. And isn't it windy? Isn't it windy, Kels?
It is windy.
Isn't it windy, Kath?
Yeah.
So windy.
Very leafy.
Very, very leafy. If you want to take part in the show, well, you know. 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
So when a kid's watching a film that's not scary and they tell you that it's scary, I mean, how many times are you allowed to slap them?
You're watching A Bug's Life, right?
I was watching A Bug's Life.
It's boring, it's not scary.
Boring, correct, Amundo. Boring. You got like 88% on Xbox.
I didn't even care about those ants. I don't care.
They're only ants.
Wait.
Put boiling water on them.
Wait.
Kels.
Is this your youngest or eldest?
Youngest.
And is he scared of ants?
No, he loves ants. It was the grasshoppers he was scared of. Although my eldest came in, he went, actually, they're not grasshoppers, they're crickets. In your face, Pixar!
Yeah. But he should have stuck it out because they got served in the end.
Yeah.
But it is dull.
But it wasn't scary, the bit he was saying. It's scary. Oh, how old are you? I'm 2. Well, you might have an excuse then.
My eldest, when she was about 2, bailed on Scared Shrekless. Have you seen that?
No.
It's like a pastiche of all these different horror movies in a Shrekky kind of way. But the bit she was scared of wasn't even a scary bit. It was just the gingerbread woman starting to be slightly weird.
Our kids are just personify the problem with Britain today. Really, lily-livered. They're cowardly. They're babies, and his focus is just appalling.
They're under 7.
Oh, I don't see them going out and working, trying to get us out of this blooming situation.
My 3-year-old has just been lolling about for the past 3 years. What has she done for me, actually?
Laughing out loud?
Lolling.
Oh, okay. Traditional lolling.
Actual lolling,
wow.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes she won't even wake up. All afternoon. Just lazy.
What can we do with Broken Britain and the broken kids of Broken Britain? 08459 455 555.
Trying to get up that great big hill of hope for a destination. I realized quickly when I knew I should that the world was made up of this brotherhood of man, or whatever that means. Into a crisis times when I'm lying in bed just to get it all out. What's in my head, and I am feeling a little peculiar. And so I wake in the morning and I step outside and I take a deep breath and I get real high and I scream from the top of my lungs, what's going on? And I say, hey, 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 hey. my life is still trying to get up that great big hill of hope for a destination.
Morning, this is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Now, just when we thought the saga... Which one
do
are we
this
doing?
bit first. Let's do this bit first.
OK, yeah, let's do this bit first. What have we got here? This is the following from the story yesterday about the headmistress, Jenny Winder of a school.
Elstow School.
Thank you. And she's taken a week off in the January term to go to the Caribbean, and it got some people on both sides of the argument quite heated. Some in favour and some thought it was disgusting when parents are being told they can't take their kids out of school.
We approached Mrs. Winder yesterday for comment. She told us it was her personal life and she was quite determined that she was not going to discuss it. A lot of parents are saying, well, you know, if we have to take our children out of school, we have to give full details, and we're not asking for the full gory details, the parents said. We would just like some sort of reason. And we were assured in a statement from the Chair of Governors, Kevin Hunter, that it was a reasonable request and it was passed by the governors. It would seem that's not quite how it happened.
Go on, what have we had?
We've had a letter overnight from the Reverend Jeremy Crocker, who is the rector of Elstow Abbey and a parent governor at Elstow School. He says he feels it's necessary to clarify his position on that decision because, well, a letter went home yesterday to parents. And he believes he's been implicated as a source of the leak to the press, because this was a story that was covered all weekend. Yeah. It appeared in the Mail on Sunday, and I think it's also appeared in the Bedfordshire.
If you are one of the parents of a kid who goes to that school, did you get a letter home last night? If so, we would love to hear it or see it. If you could give us a call, 08459 455 555, please.
Now, according to an extract from the letter sent to us by Reverend Crocker, Mrs. Winder says that at the Human Resources Subcommittee, she correctly left the room while the discussion took place. Reverend Crocker says this isn't true. This is his letter. He says the reality was the governors were given no opportunity to discuss the issue without Mrs. Winder there, and the chair was very firm that he'd made the decision already. I therefore voted in favour somewhat uncomfortably. I can confirm that it was me then wrote a confidential letter to the chair of governors at the end of July questioning the wisdom of this decision. Apart from my misgivings about the double standard of a head teacher taking a holiday in term time, I warned the chair of governors that it's the sort of thing that gains press attention. He assured me the decision was right and there was nothing to worry about. Now, he's saying that he's concerned about the misrepresentation of the facts in the letter that parents got last night. So, yes, if you are one of those parents, could you give us a shout, please?
There's two other things there. He says, I hold the view that in light of the disingenuous way this has been handled and the very unhelpful media attention, the chair of governors should resign, Mrs. Winder should apologise to both the staff and parents, and she should not go on holiday. And also the last paragraph explains why he's speaking out, doesn't it?
Yes, he said, I did not leak any of this information to the press, however, and I feel the need to speak as my own name has been questioned. 2 governors have called for my resignation. However, I will not resign as my own integrity remains firmly intact. He's also saying that the reality of that meeting where the holiday was discussed was that it was presented as a fait accompli. There was no discussion about it, really.
So, how can you help? Well, we can carry on the discussion from yesterday, although, there's no point really in arguing the rights or wrongs, as I think we did that. I think Jonathan did that yesterday. If you're a parent of a kid that goes to that school and you got a letter home last night, would love a copy of it. You could call us, 08459 455 555, or if you have scanning equipment, which used to sound so futuristic, but it turns out I've got a scanner, I never realised, you can email it to me, Iain, iAin.LEE@bbc.co.uk, and we'll have a little look at that. Because it is, if what the Reverend Jeremy Crocker is saying, it's different to what was being told to us yesterday, isn't it? And if there is coercion, it sounds like a certain amount of pressure was put in place and the decision was already made, whatever the governors were going to vote. 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Well, so far this morning, checking on the sensors, not seeing any major delays so far. Taking a look so far at the M25, that's moving rather well, as is the A1M. So far, checking on the M25, do expect delays between junction 25 for Enfield and junction 27 for the M11 as those major roadworks continue there. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's easy for you to say, Richards. Morning, this is Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. This is your headline. A governor at the Bedfordshire school where the head teacher is going on holiday during term time is calling for the resignation of the chair of governors. A shopkeeper who is facing eviction from her business in Hemel Hempstead is blaming most of her financial problems on council roadworks. And Heathrow Airport says about 10% of flights... I'm not laughing because of this story. It's a horrible story. Heathrow Airport says about 10% of flights will be cancelled today because of severe weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio. Every weekday morning, local opinions.
Well, I think it's a very difficult proposition.
You really cannot allow your heart to rule your head.
Local stories.
I wanted to call my house Hardcore Mansions. They refused that on 2 separate occasions.
I wasn't leaving the house through the fear as to what I would find when I came back.
Local life.
I bought a car within 3 months. It's rusty.
They said that the deposit would be forthcoming. It wasn't.
The JVS Show. Weekdays from 9 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Luton, Beds, Herts and Bucks, Bedford, Milton Keynes, wake up. Oh, not to this one. Hang on, let me do that again. Hang on. I muffed it up. Do it again. Luton. I didn't even mean to say Luton. I meant to say Bed. Right, do it again. Right, hang on. Hang on.
Well, come on now. Luton needs to wake up.
No, Luton doesn't. Hang on.
Every weekday morning, local opinions.
Right, we've done that. Beds, Herts and Bucks. Oh, Kelly's...
Shh. Okay, pipe down.
We're on the radio, mate.
Okay, stay on the line.
Oh, you stay on the line.
Okay, I'm quiet now.
Okay, right. Hang on. So we do that.
Every week.
Done that. Beds, Herts and Bucks. Wake up. They're going to hate this song. You might like this one, Kels.
Okay.
It's for the kids, isn't it?
Wicked.
Yeah.
Daybreak comes late, batters down your soul. These days you crave nothing that you own. You don't feel like moving from your room, and all your friends are still too cool. Come on, fight on. Now is not the end. These days we must act but not pretend. I can turn off your land into gold, but all your friends will then seem old. If you change your mind, you will find everything inside our worlds collide. Rouse up now, you girls of valor. Let's go out and fight forever. Come on, what you must do is believe. These days you find friends you get for free. Daybreak comes late, send it all your
morning, Leslie.
Hello, good morning.
That's woken you up, isn't it?
Yes, it did.
Good for you, sir. What can we do for you this morning?
Oh, the sad news of reggae star John Holt, which I've just heard from Steve Allen's show, which died.
Steve Allen's show? Hang on a minute. The sad news that you were listening to that old muppet.
No, he's class.
He's not class. He's a pain in the class. He's the rude. Do you know? Here's a story about Steve Allen. Right, I used to work at LBC, and at the Christmas party, do you know what Steve Allen would famously do every year?
What?
He'd get little Steve Allen out and wave it all about every year. Every year. Yes, John Holt has died. Very sad. Well, I say sad. Of course it's sad. The passing of anyone is sad. But let's be honest, Leslie. Reggae's rubbish, isn't it?
Well, reggae is to me, reggae is like a Muslim religion to the Muslim.
It's like a Muslim religion to the Muslims?
Yes.
What, reggae? What about the Christians? It's like Islam to the Christians, to me.
Well, it's like Christian to the Christians. Who, if you're a fan of reggae, you will never abandon reggae music.
So you're saying that more Christians like reggae than Muslims? I'm so confused as to where this is going.
No, we're not going down there. But I'm just telling you.
Reverse. It says here, I'm looking at the BBC website, UB40 added that Holt was a massive inspiration. So we got him to blame for UB40.
Well, I mean, most of the music that UB40 adopted came from persons like Dennis Brown, John Holt.
So we've got to find all of these people and punish them.
And many reggae artists.
Give us a little bit. He wrote "The Tide Is High," didn't he? Give us a little snatch of that, Les.
As I said once before, I'm not a singer, but reggae music's always in my heart. Music like "Stick By Me," Alibaba, and plenty more.
What? There are two genres of music. I love all music, Leslie. There are two genres I don't get: jazz and reggae. When it comes to reggae music, reggae got to be built in your system. It's got to be in there. It's not in there.
It's not a thing you can adopt overnight.
No, I don't like the bass. The bass is too loud. The bass makes me want to do a whoopsie.
Yeah, but without the bass line of reggae music, that's the key point
Leslie,
of reggae music.
If I'm listening to music and it makes me want to do a poo, there's something wrong with that music.
As I said, your mind and heart have to be in reggae music for you to be a reggae music lover. You can't just adopt it tomorrow.
Okay. Leslie, good to talk to you, mate, and thank you for flagging up the name of John Holt. It's very sad news. Now, autumn is here, and if you spent last night listening to the wind rattling your windows, spare a thought for a woman who, it appears, is sleeping rough in Wendover Woods. She's been spotted wandering through the trees and going through the bins of a local cafe. Its owners are so worried about her, they've started leaving food and warm clothes. Let me just get my diary, hang on. Yeah, it's 2014. This can't be right, Just.
It's absolutely true, boss. Yes, a number of sightings over the years as well about this lady. And I was given the task yesterday of trying to track her down. Whose idea was this? Do you know how big Wendover Woods is?
Yes.
Miles
and
big. Miles of woodland. I was there yesterday for a couple of hours looking for this lady. I didn't get very far, but here's what happened. Well, that is the beautiful ambiance of Wendover Woods. It's lovely to be here. Madam, sorry to bother you here. What's your name?
Meg. M-E-G.
Okay.
Meg Few.
OK, Meg. M-E-G. Meg, have you seen her?
Have I seen who, dear?
The wild woman in the woods.
No. I'm a wild woman.
See you later. Getting out of here quick. Sheesh. Have you come across her, the wild woman?
I am the wild woman.
I mean, in all seriousness, have you come...
fully in black. I'm a witch.
This is getting really scary now. In all seriousness, have you come across this lady before here in the woods in Wendover?
No.
Did you even think she exists?
No. No.
No, I haven't seen anyone like that in the woods.
OK, and how often are you up here?
Almost every day.
What's the weirdest thing you've seen here, then? It's a genuine question.
I could say you, couldn't I?
I think we're done. Set up.
So nobody, it would appear, has seen her. Have you found anybody that's seen this poor unfortunate woman, Just?
Yes, a lot of people there laughing. It's no laughing matter. John Warbrick from the cafe in the woods, he has seen her, and he knows for a fact that she's been at the bins in the cafe in the middle of the night. Incredible stuff. Take a listen to this.
Yes, I do, yeah. And we had an incident a couple of years ago where there was an Aussie guy that was selling Christmas trees, like they do every year up at Wendover Woods, and he was using my bins and came with a bin bag to chuck into the bin compound. And as he threw the bin bag in, he heard, "Ouch, that hurt," as he threw the bin bag on top of the lady. He jumped out of his skin, she jumped out of her skin, and that's when we clearly knew that she was definitely using the bins as a place to sleep. And it was in that winter where it was so cold, it was just any way, I think, for her to get off the ground and get some warmth, because it was getting down to like -10, -12 at night up here. And we honestly didn't think that she was going to survive that winter. So we started putting out little food parcels and drinks and clothes and shoes and anything that we thought might help just to get her through that winter, because it was perishing. But we honestly thought we were going to come in one morning and find a dead body in the bins.
Wow, this is such an incredible story. I know you're going to be talking to Iain on the phone in more detail about this, but just lastly, it's no laughing matter. Some people are laughing, thinking this is just a myth. You have seen this lady, other people have seen this lady. Now coming into winter, of course, you're concerned about this woman.
Absolutely, yeah. It's the forecast for this winter looks pretty cold and bleak again. So, yeah, we're all worried about her. She clearly needs help. She clearly doesn't want to get any help. But how long she can survive out there in the wild your guess is as good as mine. But yeah, she really needs some help. So if anyone sees her, if anyone knows anything about her, if you could either get in touch with the Forestry Commission or in touch with you guys. Then, yeah, we need to raise the alarm if we see this lady, try and get her some help.
This is a very tragic story, Justin. I would imagine this woman is potentially damaged goods. 08459 455 555 if anybody has seen her or knows any idea who it might be.
It's a very unusual story. John last saw her just over a week ago. Other people who use the cafe as well, they have seen her. She could have been in the woods for years. The woods are so vast, she could have been there for up to 5 years.
Justin, thank you, mate. We've got some lighter stuff for you to have a look at later on. 08459 455 555 if you can give us any more on that rather sad story.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Well, so far, starting on the Great North Road, do expect delays approaching the Black Cat roundabouts where those major roadworks are continuing. In Milton Keynes, do expect delays as well on Standing Way, just at Newport Road. It's been causing delays due to the roadworks that are taking place there. Taking a look in Park Street, the A414 building a little around Park Street roundabout. And taking a look at the M25, do expect some delays between junction 25 for Enfield and junction 27 for the M11, as those narrow lanes are in place for major roadworks that are continuing there as well. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6:30. I'm Simon Oxley. A governor at the Bedfordshire school where the head teacher is going on holiday during term time is calling for the resignation of the chair of governors. The Reverend Jeremy Crocker says he disagrees with the decision to allow Elstow Lower School head teacher Jenny Winder to take a break in the Caribbean in January, and claims governors were given little opportunity to discuss the matter. A shopkeeper who is facing eviction from her business in Hemel Hempstead is blaming most of her financial problems on council roadworks, and some travel disruption is predicted today as the remnants of Hurricane Gonzalo sweeps across the UK. Heathrow Airport says about 10% of flights will be cancelled.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Manchester United drew 2-2 at West Brom in the Premier League last night. United twice came from behind to earn a point, which leaves them 10 points behind leaders Chelsea. There's a full Football League programme tonight. Championship leaders Watford host fellow promotion chasers Nottingham Forest in the first home game for new Hornets head coach Slavisa Jokanovic.
I am very exciting. This is a big day for me. It will be first time in our stadium. I am sure my team gonna improve with with supporters in the crowd.
In League One, Milton Keynes Dons play their first home league game for a month, but manager Carl Robinson has been pleased with their recent away games as they prepare to host Fleetwood.
We look very, very strong defensively. To keep 2 clean sheets on the road, away at Yeovil and away at Leyton Orient on the spin is a difficult task in itself. So I'm very pleased to get a point, very, very pleased. And not the 3 points that we really wanted, but it's a point and it's positive, and we move on to the next game now.
And in League Two, Luton manager John Still welcomes his former club Dagenham to Kenilworth Road.
I supported them, played for them, managed them, different times managed them. So of course it is, absolutely it is, but the most important thing is the game.
Also in League Two, leaders Wickham are at Exeter, Stevenage go to Portsmouth. There's commentary on Watford, MK Dons, Luton and Stevenage in Three Counties Sport from 7. In the Champions League, Manchester City kick off at 5 p.m. our time away to CSKA Moscow. Later, Chelsea host the Slovenian side Maribor. And Bedford Rugby Club have been awarded the points from their opening British and Irish Cup match against Cornish Pirates 9 days ago. The Blues lost the game, but Pirates have been penalised by the organising committee for a breach of rules concerning uncontested scrums. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 7.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road is where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. Down this road that never seems to end. When new adventure lies just around the bend. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, the whole world is my home. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. Down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. There's a world that's waiting to unfold, a brand new tale no one has ever told. We've journeyed far, but I know it won't be long. We're almost there and we've paid our fare with a hobo song. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow, I'll find what I call home. Until tomorrow, you know I'm free to roll.
Hey, boily.
Yeah.
Lots in the papers today. Straitjackets and Psycho Ward Halloween outfits damage efforts to treat mental illness, a health boss has warned. No, they don't.
Hang on, is this last year? I'm sure we did this one, didn't we?
John Lawler called the costumes offensive, adding people would never dress as a cancer patient. The Northumberland Tyne and Weir NHS Trust, urged people not to buy the outfits, including a Psycho Ward costume with a jumpsuit and a Hannibal Lecter-style mask. Well, that's Hannibal Lecter. He wasn't insane. He was just too clever for the cops. That's why he was locked up.
He was a bit insane.
My interpretation of the film was he was too clever. That's why they had to put that thing on his mouth.
He was a psychopath.
Yeah, he's a clever man.
Okay.
So that's not mocking mental illness, that's mocking intelligence.
Eating people's organs, I think, was maybe a step a little bit in the wrong direction.
In your opinion?
Yeah, and pulling people's faces off.
There is also a schizo outfit, a reference to schizophrenia, and that may be inappropriate, but come on, guys, we have a fine tradition of wearing straitjackets. don't we? Escapologist. Was Houdini mocking mental illness? No. He was celebrating the fact that it's intelligence. He was a clever man. Although didn't he drown during one of his escapes?
He did a number of silly things, yes.
08459 455 555. This, let's stop this, ban this sick filth. No, stop this nonsense. No, it's political madness gone wrong. There's nothing wrong with wearing a straitjacket to a Halloween party. Of course there's not.
Except you're not going to... How are you going to hold your drink? Think about it.
With one of those hats with the beer cans on.
With the tubes on. I used to have one of those.
And I bet you did. And also, you can get bras with those on.
Can you?
Yes. And also, there's nothing wrong with wearing a Psycho Ward shirt. Come on, guys, it's a bit of fun. You're not going around saying that people with mental illness... It's not even connected. Makes me so angry. So angry. There's a picture of those losers making that Dad's Army film. That'll be rubbish. 08459 455 555. What you got in the papers?
I'm just having a look. I've been upstairs doing work.
Blind... Well, I'm doing work.
Yeah.
Blind darts team. You are having a laugh.
Bagsy not scoring.
Bagsy not being in the same village that's happening.
Does the board bleep or something?
They've got it on bits of string.
Oh.
Meet Britain's first blind pub darts team. There's a reason for that, guys. Called the Optimists. Now, I'm all for pretty much equal rights. Blind people should not be throwing darts.
Why not?
Because they're blind. They can't see where the dart is going.
Yeah, but they probably hit the board better than I would, and I can see.
Well, barely. You got your John Lennons on today, and by that I mean milk bottles, Deirdre Rashid.
Oh.
Sharon Waters, Richard Pryor. What?
No.
Rachel Beresford and Carol Pirrett hold a piece of string attached to the bullseye to help them locate the board from the oche. They only miss and hit the wall about 1 in 3 throws. Hang on a minute. So 33% of their darts are not hitting the dartboard. They're hitting the wall.
It's better than my average.
Where should we avoid? The Dolphin Inn in Ground Pound, Cornwall. Richard, 68, said, no one's been injured yet, although there's damage around the board. People might want to stand back, as I don't think we get any points for hitting spectators. Flippin' heck. I mean, seriously.
Darts and pool are games that I play better when I've had a few. I mean, there is a limit. I end up being rubbish again, but...
I am brilliant at pool. I am flipping brilliant. By luck. By pure luck.
Just hit and hope.
Just hit and hope, isn't it? That's all you got to do with pool. I do genuinely think we shouldn't allow blind people to play darts. Unless it's in, like, a blind club. So they're all blind. Who threw that?
Well, surely it's more dangerous then.
But I'm not there and I'm not bothered.
Oh.
It's not my problem.
Oh, my goodness.
No, it's not my problem.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, the Daily Mail is so outraged by Amanda Holden's bottom shot from yesterday.
Yeah.
They've done a whole double-page spread of other things that she's flashed.
Oh, for
They're
goodness
so
sakes.
outraged, they're just going to have another quick look at her doing this, doing that, doing this, doing that, and showing that.
She's...
outrageous. Let's have another look. Outrageous.
The Sun,
Let's have another look.
The Sun really is doing the story that everybody should be doing, and hats off to the Sun. The Sun often gets knocked and mocked, but they're doing proper
Is
journalism
that the
today.
exploding boobs on page 1?
It's not the exploding boobs, mate, and this is actually a very serious story, so just rein it in a little bit, because
Go.
otherwise we'll appear insensitive.
Go.
It's day 2 of Sex Week, and you're all at it, everywhere. Ski lifts, bouncy castles, JD Sports roof, bonkers places, Brits are bonking.
Bouncy castles?
You wouldn't get any purchase.
Take your shoes off.
Hannah Duckett, 19. She's a transcriber from Cambridge.
Shouldn't be any adults on a bouncy castle, by the way. I know.
Well, as long as they got their shoes
Been
off.
kicked off enough.
Oh, I always get in the bouncy castle. Oh, I'm always... He's only little. Can I go on? He's only little. Well, yeah, go on, but no other... Get in here. I'm flinging him about. Hannah Duckett, 19, a transcriber from Cambridge. A stranger's shed. A stranger's shed? Have you got no respect, Hannah Duckett? Transcribe this. It was small and quite uncomfortable.
Splinter Hazard.
Rachel Moody, 30, model. I've seen a picture, I don't think so. Oh, look at me, Steve Allen from Leeds.
Oh.
A horse box. A horse box. You know what horses do in horse boxes? We were unloading the horses after being to a show when we realised there was no one around. That's a prerequisite for having it away. Oh, there's no one around. The number 69 bus.
No.
Jack
I don't
Bridlington, you
believe
made
it.
that up. Here we go. This is now Alex Green, 21, pizza delivery driver, Plymouth. In a public lavatory by a beach in Cornwall.
Oh, romance.
Yeah, but, no, and you may laugh, but then he says, not the disabled one, the regular one. So that meant
principles.
Anybody, it's got principles.
Wow. Honestly, you guys really are romantic.
Up a tree in a graveyard and on a roof, to name a few, says
Up
Jack
a tree?
Bishop.
Up a tree? Like a baboon?
How do you... Oh, this is disgusting. This is Jack Bishop, 20. He's a horse management student.
What?
A
horse management?
What, you studying? Horse management?
Or is he a horse that's studying management?
The strangest place is probably in a jacuzzi. All right, your own private jacuzzi. No, at Plymouth Pavilion swimming pool.
Filth.
I get in the jacuzzi in swimming pools.
Filth.
My little boy loves it in there.
It just backs us up. The only people who like hot tubs and jacuzzis are perverts.
And this... OK, two more. The butterfly section of London's Natural History Museum. I hate that. I can't even walk in there. And listen to Brett Hayward. He's 22. He's a business student from Birmingham. And it just says a lot about students, Brummies, and Brett Hayward and his girlfriend.
And men and women.
In Weatherspoons. I got my girlfriend a few drinks. Get this, girls. I got my girlfriend a few drinks, then bet her a tenner she wouldn't do it in the toilets. She did.
So basically, he gave her a tenner.
Oh, dear.
That's 2 more drinks.
Oh, dearie me.
Crikey bobs, honestly.
Oh, listen to Thomas Ling. Thomas Ling, he's 20... This is horrible. I'm sorry if you're listening. This will get some people. I don't care. Thomas Ling, 22, he's a sales rep from Worcestershire. On a train station platform once, but my first time was in my school toilets. I've had sex in McDonald's toilets as well. Oh, for goodness sakes, can we go and put all of these people down?
He really likes the smell of rim block, doesn't he? Oh, yeah.
What you got, Kath?
An advert for a Shave Tech Recharger. Oh, an epilator.
Oh.
Does anyone use those?
Yes.
And also this multifunction music centre.
Oh, yeah, beautiful. Stereo.
Yeah, I quite fancy a record player.
Yeah.
Maybe not this one. $249.99, but it's a reduction. It was $299.99. And the great thing about it is it looks like an old wireless.
Oh, that's horrible. Is that your stomach?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have had some cornies this morning when the cornies were doing the
Get a
rounds.
vibration plate for $129.99.
What's that do then?
Vibrates you.
Feel sorry for Brian Harvey. Of course, Tony Mortimer.
Ran over himself.
E70. He did run over himself, Brian Harvey. Tony Mortimer, friend of the show.
Yep.
Love him.
Friend of mine.
Yep.
Well, here's a picture of Brian Harvey. He's only tiny. He's having an argument with a copper.
Again.
90s pop star Brian Harvey confronts a policeman outside Downing Street and demands to see the Prime Minister.
He had a ring binder. He'd done his research.
Stunned tourists watched the bizarre showdown yesterday as the ex-E17 singer ranted the government had stolen his money. He told cops, "You'll be dancing to my #1 single at Christmas."
Again.
What's Day Another Day?
Is he going to release it? Re-release it?
Brian left in his hate, but anyway, left.
That. What about this one? Bus driver who threw gay couple off for kissing.
Oh.
This time the boys.
Here we go.
A gay couple were reportedly thrown off a bus when the driver saw them kissing. Watched them kissing. Transport chiefs are investigating after Jack James, 23, said he and his partner were subjected to a volley of abuse.
Now, which is the difference between a volley and a rally?
A volley comes from a higher...
So does a rally bounce? Does a volley bounce? A volley can bounce.
Volley.
One bounces.
Boom. Boom. Rally's more.
No, mate, you're doing the Dam Busters. One bounces, one doesn't bounce. 08459 455 555.
Anyway.
Maybe the bus driver threw him off before he went too far and was on the other list you were just talking about.
Let's find out.
So let me get this right. There's 2 gay fellas on this bus. They're having a kiss, and the bus driver tossed them off.
No. They were chatting away when my partner, says James, gave me a peck on the lips.
Right.
The bus driver shouted, "Hey, you two! Don't do that on my effing bus, or you can get off. I don't want to watch that."
How would he be watching it? He'd have to turn around. So at what point did he toss them off?
Mr James of Greenwich, South East London, told the Evening Standard that they could not believe the driver's comments were directed at them, adding, when the bus stopped at our stop, I politely asked if he was talking to us. His reply was, yeah, it's my bus, it's my rules, and if I don't want to watch it, that's disgusting. Get off the bus. And he told us we were not real men and we should F off.
Is it like black cab drivers, that the bus drivers own their own buses?
I think maybe this bus driver was the owner of the company and he was just driving, or maybe he was being overly officious.
Blimey.
The alleged incident happened on August the 8th around 10:30pm near Blackheath.
Oh, come on, guys.
Transport for London's Ken Davidson said all customers have the right to use our services without fear of being abused, and offensive behaviour is completely unacceptable.
Well, that is unacceptable.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off on the M1, starting to look very heavy, heading southbound between junction 11 for Dunstable Road and junction 9 for Redbourne. The M25 heading anti-clockwise, showing on the sensors to be very slow moving between junction 21A for St Albans and junction 20 for Kings Langley. Already building up on the North Orbital Road, just at junction 21A for the M25. And in Park Street, the A414 building a little around the Park Street roundabout. Seeing some delays at the moment of up to about half an hour on Thameslink in and out of Bedford, so do check before travelling. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Nicola. It's 6:47. Looking forward to getting the weather very, very shortly as well. It's Tuesday, the 21st of October. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A governor at the Bedfordshire school, where their head teacher is going on holiday during term time, is calling for the resignation of the chair of governors. A shopkeeper who's facing eviction from her business in Hemel Hempstead is blaming most of her financial problems on council roadworks. And British scientists have taken part in a pioneering new procedure that's enabled a paralysed Polish man to walk again. Let's get the weather. Here's Kate.
Beds, hearts and bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Well, it's a very exciting day of weather. It's a very windy and wet start. Now, I'm looking at the satellite picture. The main band of rain, the tail end of it is just skirting past Cheshunt at the moment. So pretty much blown out of our region. Literally, we have a very strong northwesterly breeze. The temperature outside at the moment is 12-13 Celsius. It is going to get colder as we head through the day, which is a bit backwards. Usually it gets warmer. Today it's going to feel much colder by the time the sun sets. Now, the wind today, the Met Office has a yellow weather warning in place for this strong wind. Ex-Hurricane Gonzalo, we have the remnants of it. We could be seeing gusts of 40-50 miles per hour. Out along the Chilterns, perhaps slightly stronger than that. On high ground, the wind could be a little bit stronger. The gusts could be stronger anyway, and that's valid until later on this afternoon. Now, this main band of rain I was talking about, which is just about cleared the area, behind it was a cold front. Behind it, the air is much clearer. So we are going to get plenty of sunny spells today, but mixed in with that sunshine, squally showers. And it's when those showers hit or blow through, they'll blow through quickly. It's going to be really unpleasant. Our strongest gusts are likely to happen then. So a mixture of sunshine and showers and a very strong northwesterly breeze. Maximum temperature not likely to get much above 12 Celsius by the end of the afternoon, so it's going to feel noticeably colder than it has done recently. Overnight, eventually clear spells. The wind falls a little lighter, not too much, but it does ease off slightly. It's not quite as fierce as it is during the day, but the temperature is going to drop minimum down to 4 Celsius. For tomorrow, a dry sunny start, but the cloud increase is going to still be breezy tomorrow, but again, not quite as fierce as today's winds. The maximum temperature 13 Celsius, and that is your forecast.
What do you want, Richard?
Hello, Princess.
Yes, Mum.
Now listen, I'm surprised the bus driver didn't get in trouble for joining in and tossing them off.
Thank you very much indeed.
BBC Three Counties Radio's big tour of beds, hearts and bucks.
It's a beautiful village. We're surrounded by nice open countryside.
From the top of the springs, looking down, it really is stunning.
All this week, we're uncovering Barton le Clay.
It's a super village. It's got all the amenities.
You've got the old part on one side of the A6. You've got the newer part on the other side.
Telling everyone about where you live.
It's a nice atmosphere, people walking the dogs.
In snow, in sunshine, it's beautiful at sunset.
I wouldn't leave it. If you paid me millions, I still wouldn't leave. I love it here.
The big tour of beds, hearts and bucks from BBC Three Counties Radio.
if I was to say I'll forget it, would it mean a thing? 'Cause every time I think about it, memories take me back to all of the wildest times. If I could change your mind, I would hit the ground running. It took time to realize, and I never saw it coming. Forgive my lying eyes. Gonna give you all or nothing. If I could change your mind, I could make you mine. Visions of our love pass right by me. Your eyes are enough to remind me. Visions of our love pass right by me. Your eyes are enough to visions of our love remind me. If I could change your mind, I would hit the ground running. It took time to realize, and I never saw it coming. Forgive my lying eyes. Gonna give you all or nothing. If I could change your mind, I could make you mine. Visions of our love remind me. Change your mind. Visions of our love remind me.
That's Haim?
Haim. I think that's Haim. Ask Kelly.
I'll ask Kelly.
That's Haim.
Yeah.
Thank you.
She corrected me.
It's about Haim.
It's not
What Haim
because
is
I
it?
think Corey
That's it.
Haim, but it's nothing to do with Corey Haim.
Let's name their albums. It's about Haim.
Yep.
What Haim is it? Supper Haim.
Haim, you went home.
MC Hammer Haim.
Turn Back Haim. That's their greatest
Haim,
hits.
Forever Blowing Bubbles.
Haim on top of the world, looking down on creation.
The only explanation I can see.
Whoa. Got the words wrong.
No, that's not theirs. Haim. Looking through you.
Got any just?
Haim to eat. I'm hungry. Hey, that was a great track. That is
I like
what I
that.
describe as a turntable hit. Great stuff.
I don't know what that means.
It means it sounds great on the radio. Doesn't have to be a big hit single, but for me, that's a great radio hit,
Isn't
a
it-
turntable hit.
Isn't it deliciously retro?
It's beautiful.
No one says time to eat.
No, they don't.
They say supper Haim. Or dinner Haim if you're... Or tea Haim if you're common.
Haim. Yeah, I'm common. Anyway.
Hang on.
Haim.
What Haim is it?
We've done that one.
What's the Haim, Mr. Wolf? Not done that one. That's their kids' album.
Supper Haim.
We did Supper Haim.
That's the answer to what's the Haim, Mr. Wolf.
I'm feeling Haim.
What?
Hmm?
Eh?
I don't know.
Haim to go home?
I think it's... guys, I think it's Haim we carried on with this. Justin, Barton the Clay. We are uncovering Barton the Clay this week in Home of the Big Tour. What have you got for us, boss?
Yes, celebrating Barton the Clay. I've been to Barton, the home of our big tour this week. I've been asking people what Barton the Clay is famous for. Here's what people had to say, boss. Giza from Iain Lee Show. How you doing? What's Barton the Clay famous for?
Virtually nothing, I should think.
Tim, what's this place famous for?
The Blur song, Country House, was based on a house here in Barton, owned by, I think he was their manager at the time. And he's got a big house in the country here in Barton, and they wrote about it.
It's a great story, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a true story as well, yeah.
Hey?
What's it famous for?
Oh, it's shops and everything.
There's a fish and chip shop there. Doesn't look very famous to me.
Well, it is if you're having these fish and chips.
I'm J-Dog from Iain Lee Show. You well?
Yeah, I'm doing okay, mate.
What's your name?
I don't know you at all.
I'm J-Dog.
From where?
Three Counties Radio.
Oh, I see. Sorry, mate. Sorry, I didn't realise. Yeah. I'm Clem.
Hey, Clem, lovely to meet you today. Clem.
Yeah.
What's the vibe like here in Barton the Clay? Is it a good place to live?
Oh, yeah. Very, very good indeed, yeah. Very good indeed. It's not as small as people think because there's lots of houses and that over the other side, but it's quite nice.
What's it famous for?
The springs, the springs.
What's your name?
Lucy.
What's the best thing about Barton? What's it famous for?
I don't know.
Fair enough. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Well, not a lot really, but our football team has been to Wembley, 1978.
What, Barton Rovers?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What game was that?
FA, what was it? Vars. And they lost.
Apart from that, it was a good vibe.
Yeah. All right.
Giza?
Yes.
There you go.
Giza?
Giza? Giza? Giza? Hi. Giza? Yeah. Giza? I think we get the message. Giza? Giza? Time to go. Giza? Giza? Giza, 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 Giza. Sounds good. Good production. Giza, 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 Giza.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off this morning on the M1, heading southbound, very heavy at the moment between junction 11 at Dunstable Road and junction 9 for Redbourne. Taking a look at the M25, that's very heavy moving at the moment between junction 21A for St Albans and junction 20 at Kings Langley. The A1M's also looking heavy on the speed sensors around junction 8 for Stevenage. And in Borehamwood, it's queuing already on the Barnet bypass heading southbound between Sterling Corner and Mill Hill Circus.
Get a life, man.
Taking a look so far at the trains, and delays of about half an hour in and out of Bedford at the moment. Also, there is a Met Office weather warning for gales across the three counties. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
I'm going to murder Iain Lee.
Giza? Morning, this is... You can't. We're the BBC. We are not Heart. We are not Capital. We're not one of those rubbish little radio stations that someone set up in an office on a trading estate in Milton Keynes. We are the BBC. And you cannot start a piece with...
Giza?
You can't do it. Deary, deary me. Right, lots coming up. I can't remember what... I'll have a little... I'll regroup during the news. Here's Simon.
Giza?
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7 o'clock. The headlines. Head teacher holiday row continues. Hart shop owner facing eviction blames roadworks, and travel disruption as hurricane remnants hit UK.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A governor at the Bedfordshire school where the head teacher is going on holiday during term time is calling for the resignation of the chair of governors. The Reverend Jeremy Crocker says he disagrees with the decision to allow Elstow Lower School head teacher Jenny Winder to take a break in the Caribbean in January, and claims governors were given little opportunity to discuss the matter. More from Catherine Boyle.
In a letter to BBC Three Counties Radio, the Reverend Crocker, who's the rector of Elstow Abbey as well as a parent governor at Elstow School, says he feels implicated as a possible source of the leak to the press over Mrs Winder's holiday in a letter home to parents yesterday. He denies this, but says he did raise the matter with the chair of governors, Kevin Hunter, because he had misgivings about what he calls the double standard of a head teacher taking holiday in term time. The Reverend Crocker says the decision was presented to them as a fait accompli, and Mrs Winder was present in the meeting, something she's denied.
A shopkeeper who is facing eviction from her business in Hemel Hempstead is blaming most of her financial problems on council roadworks. Michelle Smith has run off-the-wall antiques in Hemel Old Town for 14 years. More from Jane Killick.
Michelle Smith is being evicted by her landlords, Dacorum Borough Council, in a week's time because she has rent arrears of £4,500. She's blaming many of her problems on roadworks, which started in June 2013 and lasted nearly a year. She says she got help with reduced rent during that time, but things haven't improved because customers keep parking on a poorly marked bus stop outside her shop and getting parking tickets.
British scientists have taken part in a pioneering new procedure that has enabled a paralysed Polish English man to walk again. Cells capable of regeneration were transplanted from the man's nose into his spinal cord. The treatment was carried out by surgeons in Poland with help from experts in London. The founder and former leader of the English Defence League, Stephen Lennon, is back in jail. A statement on Facebook from his supporters said he'd been recalled to prison for 28 days for responding to a threat on Twitter. Lennon from Luton was sentenced in January to 18 months in prison for mortgage fraud. He was released in June under licence. Travel disruption is predicted today as the remnants of Hurricane Gonzalo sweeps across the UK. Nick Qureshi is at Heathrow.
Winds of 75 miles an hour are predicted along the coast and 65 miles an hour inland as the storm heads east with the potential to bring down trees. Heathrow says around 130 flights with the 20 biggest carriers have been cancelled today because longer intervals are needed between planes taking off and landing. British Airways says it has cancelled a number of flights and has urged passengers to look at their bookings online. And Virgin Trains is warning of disruption, advising commuters to check their journeys before setting off.
In sport, Manchester United drew 2-2 at West Brom in the Premier League last night. There's a full Football League programme tonight with matches for Watford, MK Dons, Wickham, Luton and Stevenage. The weather, the wet and windy conditions should clear, followed by sunny spells and scattered showers, staying windy and feeling much colder though, a maximum temperature 12 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
BBC Three Counties Radio's big tour of beds, hearts and bucks.
From the top of the Springs, looking down, it really is stunning.
All this week, we're uncovering Barton le Clay.
It's a lovely, friendly village. Everybody knows everybody, and there's plenty to do.
Telling everyone about where you live.
I think we've made more friends here quickly in the 4.5 years we've been here.
The big tour of beds, hearts and bucks. BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sorry to break this conversation about why you've stopped wearing a watch, Catherine. I've got a show to do. Is that okay?
Yes.
Thank you. You've thrown me with the watch thing. Why don't you wear a watch?
Clangs.
Yeah.
And I don't like being at anyone's beck and call.
Yeah. Yeah, time. In your FaceTime.
Yeah, my time.
Your time? Oh, hi. Nice to meet you. What's on the show this morning, Catherine?
All manner of things and stuff. We're going to be talking about, we've had a letter through from one of the parents who are a parent governor at the school we were talking about yesterday.
Yep.
It's more interesting than that. Stick with it. Do you remember yesterday we were talking about the head teacher who's taking time off during term
you're still
time?
trying to sell it. We're going to do that story in a moment, so don't...
Well, anyway, it's about that.
OK.
We're also talking about the Hemel Roadworks. Yes, again. Apparently the hangover is still lingering.
Again.
And also we're talking about this woman who's been spotted in Wendover Woods. It's thought she may be sleeping rough. Yes, in 2014 there was a woman living in the woods.
Sad that. You can give us a call about that or anything you fancy, to be honest. You know the rules. You can pick up the phone and give us a call. 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
OK, so the story we talked about yesterday, and I know Jonathan picked it up as well. Elstow School, the headmistress, Mrs. Jenny Winder, she's been there for 14 years. Apparently has done an excellent job. The school is now outstanding. She's announced that she's taking a week off at term time in January to go to the Caribbean. OK. A letter was sent out to parents yesterday. If you've got a copy of that letter, I'd love to hear from you. 08459 455 555, or you can email it ian.lee@bbc.co.uk. And we were told yesterday that this time off had been approved by the Chair of Governors. Well, things have moved on slightly, haven't they?
We were told it was a reasonable request, and it was understood that for personal reasons she had to go during term time, and it had been approved by the governors. Not quite what happened, according to Jeremy Crocker, who is the Reverend of Elstow Abbey, the rector of Elstow Abbey, and also a parent governor at Elstow School. He's written to us to clarify his position because he feels he's been implicated as the source of the leak to the press, because this was all over the newspapers this weekend, and he believes that in a letter home he's been kind of pinpointed as the source of this leak. In this letter last night he says that there's talk of Mrs. Winder saying that she left the room while the discussion took place into what would happen about this holiday. Jeremy Crocker says this is untrue. The reality, according to this letter we have here, was that the governors were given no opportunity to discuss the issue without Mrs. Winder there, and the chair was very firm that he'd made the decision already. I therefore voted in favour somewhat uncomfortably. Reverend Crocker continues, I can confirm that it was me who then wrote a confidential letter to the chair of governors at the end of July questioning the wisdom of the decision. Apart from my misgivings about the double standard of a head teacher taking holiday in term time, I warned the chair of governors that this is the sort of thing that gains press attention. He assured me the decision was right and that there was nothing to worry about. Now, in this email, he talks about this decision being presented to the committee as a fait accompli and that there was little opportunity for a serious discussion about it because the teacher was in the room. And he holds the view, he says, in light of the disingenuous way this has been handled, with the very unhelpful media attention, that the chair of governors should resign, Mrs. Winder should apologise to both staff and parents, and she should not go on the holiday.
It also says here, 2 governors have called for my resignation. However, I will not resign as my own integrity remains firmly intact. One small point I'd raise about that, he did vote against what he believed in. I don't know, which seems an odd thing to do. If they felt pressure, well, then that's one thing. But he says, 2 governors have called for my resignation. However, I will not resign as my own integrity remains firmly intact. I'd love to see a copy of this letter or have you read it out to us. The letter that was apparently sent home with the kids of Elstow School yesterday. If you've got it, 08459 455 555.
And when we talked about this story yesterday, we wanted to give Mrs. Winder a fair right of reply. We tried to do that. She didn't want to speak to her. She said she'd taken the decision. Her personal life was her personal life, and that was the end of it. Some of the parents who called us and contacted us afterwards suggested that perhaps her attitude to taking holidays in term time didn't extend to them and that it'd been made very difficult for them. Some of them in quite difficult circumstances had wanted to take their child out of school for weddings and funerals, and it had not been made easy. So if you want to give us a call on that one, 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Oh, 08459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call on that. And if you have got a copy of that letter, we'd love to see it. You can email it as well. ian.lee@bbc.co.uk is the email address. The correct spelling of Ian, of course. Can you believe, Catherine, some people still spell my name incorrectly?
Wow.
IAIN.LEE. No, hang on. What is my email address here? I nearly gave up my own. Why are we so secretive about our own private email addresses? Because it's not like I'm giving you my house address.
What's your house address?
Sorry?
What's your house address?
It's the address where I live.
I get enough nonsense through there. That's why I don't want you to know my email address.
Ian.lee@bbc.co.uk. Now, it seems that the hangover from the Hemel roadworks saga continues. Another shopkeeper says she's fallen victim to the dramatic drop in footfall caused by the renovation of the old town. Remember, the works were supposed to take a few months, and they lasted almost a year. Michelle Smith owns Off the Wall Antiques and joins me now. Morning, Michelle.
Good morning.
So tell me about Off the Wall Antiques. How long have you been there?
I've had my shop for 14 years.
Gosh, a long time.
Yes.
And how has business been up until these roadworks were taking place?
If I'm honest, business hasn't been very easy up there for a number of years. So the old town was languishing for quite some years before the roadworks started. But must be 4 years ago, I went to see MP Mike Penning and begged him to get the council to address the fact that there wasn't much footfall in the old town. So it was really Mike Penning who sort of instigated and pushed the works that then were, started to... And these are big renovations to the old town. It took a long time. It's a story that we covered a lot. And did business get worse during those roadworks? Oh, for sure. There was virtually no footfall at all. Yeah. And the road was closed several times. People were obviously alienated from coming up there during the roadworks. Very difficult. They've been finished for a while now. Yes. Have things improved? Have things changed? In one sense they have, in that some of the customers are better. They're coming sort of from further afield, probably because they've heard that the renovations have been done. So people are coming from Harrow, from London, which is good. but there are never enough of them, and the street is like a ghost town most of the time. So although the quality of the customer seems to have improved, because the old town looks beautiful now it's finished, there's probably less footfall now than there was before the roadworks started.
And there's a phantom bus stop there, isn't there? I don't know if this situation has changed. When it was all the work was done, there was a bus stop there, but no one was running a bus service. Are there any bus services there, and does that bus stop cause you many problems?
There is no bus service there, which is a source of continual aggravation for me. I went to see Andrew Williams a month or so ago to talk to him about it, to see how he was going to address this. He refused to suspend the bus bay, and I asked him, have you spoken to the bus companies about getting buses back up here? And incredibly, he said to me at that time that he hadn't even spoken to them during the whole of the 11 months of the roadworks and the months ensuing. And the end result of it is we have a bus stop without a bus. Doesn't look like there's a prospect of buses coming, because the issue is that now it's one way. The elderly people, or the people who would want to use the bus, want to return. And obviously they're not going to do that with a one-way system. But he's still refusing to do anything different with it. And I'm constantly going outside my shop, warning people not to park there, because obviously lots of people have been ticketed and it's alienating people from coming back.
It does. I mean, part of these works were to make it easier to park, and it does seem crazy that there is a bus stop that isn't being used and you can't park there.
Absolutely.
And if what you're saying about them not talking to the bus companies while the works are being done is true, then that really does... that's quite narrow-minded, isn't it? Short-sighted. Have you spoken to any of the other shopkeepers? How are they finding things since the roadworks were finished, since the street was completed?
Well, everybody is commenting on the lack of footfall up there. And so everybody is still finding it immensely difficult.
What are you doing? How long do you think you've got left in the shop? How bad is the situation?
The situation couldn't be any worse, really. I have a notice of eviction that I received only days ago, giving me a date of the 28th of October, which is next Tuesday at 11 o'clock.
And so I'm sorry, I don't know how these things work. What happens then? You get kicked out, it gets boarded up. Is that...
It wouldn't be boarded up,
no.
But certainly I'd have to hand the keys over to the council and they would repossess the shop. There's no court hearing, although I am planning to appeal to the court to suspend it.
How much money do you owe?
Well, I actually owe more than $4,583, I think, the sum that they're asking me for. But they've asked me for that amount of money and asked me to find it in 2 weeks. I was paying my rent and paying some of the arrears back every month. So it's not that I'm not paying, it's just that they are not giving me the opportunity to carry on paying my arrears slowly. And I'm very upset because they've gone back on promises made to me. I went to see them in April. I told them it was actually my idea to have the meeting, and I told them that I was still finding it extremely difficult. I talked to them about ways I could move the business on, increase turnover, etc. And at that time, my arrears were known to them. And they said to me, as long as you carry on paying your rent and arrears every month, make sure you do that, which I have complied with.
OK, listen, Michelle, we're running out of time. You set up a crowdfunder page, haven't you?
Yes.
How do people find that, and what are you hoping they'll do?
Crowdfunder is something I found out very recently. I didn't know about it before. It's something that I'm loath to do, but I just can't see how I'm going to find that amount of money in a week. I've got lots and lots of stock in my shop, but no opportunity to sell it very quickly. The crowdfunding site is a way that individuals or communities can get together and raise funds in a short period of time.
Yeah.
You can find it, crowdfund it. The actual link for it could be found on my Facebook page, Off the Wall Antiques Facebook page, or you could find it on the crowdfunder website. And basically, if people do give money, they're not giving money to me as such. Like, for instance, if they give me £10, I'll give them a voucher for £15 worth of goods in my shop.
OK, brilliant. Well, listen, I wish you the very best of luck. Let's keep our fingers crossed, and maybe we'll speak. Was it the 28th?
Yes.
Can we speak to you then?
Yes.
Michelle, I wish you the best of luck. It's, if you want to go to the shop, it's Off the Wall Antiques. It's in Hemel Old Town, 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off this morning in Dunstable, very slow moving on the A5, the High Street, heading southbound between Church Street and Luton Road. The A1M's looking very heavy on the sensors at the moment between Junction 3 for St Albans and Junction 1 for the M25. It's queuing at the moment on the M25 heading anti-clockwise between Junction 21A for St Albans and Junction 19 at Watford. And taking a look so far at the A10 in Cheshunt, that's very heavy as well between the Great Cambridge Road and Junction 25 for the M25. Taking a look so far at the train, seeing delays on Thameslink in and out of Bedford due to a signalling problem, so do check before travelling. Also, a Met Office weather warning has been issued across the three counties, so do be aware of that when being out on the roads. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Nicola. It's 7:18 or thereabouts. It's Tuesday, the 21st of October. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A governor at the Bedfordshire school where the head teacher is going on holiday during term time is calling for the resignation of the chair of governors. A shopkeeper who is facing eviction from her business in Hemel Hempstead is blaming most of her financial problems on council roadworks. And British scientists have taken part in a pioneering procedure that's enabled a paralysed man to walk again.
BBC Three Counties Radio. On BBC One.
There's a story that unites each of us with every animal on the planet. It's a story of the greatest of all adventures, the journey through life. They will fight battles. They will be strong, cunning, and ingenious, and will do whatever it takes to win a mate.
Life Story with David Attenborough.
Many lives, one epic journey.
Starts Thursday night at 9 on BBC One and BBC One HD.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
You guys... I'm putting on my top hat, says Tim Gardner. I'm a believer, says Scott Balks.
Oh, yeah.
Mono says, Sweet Carol Heim. These are all on Twitter. Brackets, what's occurring here, by the way?
No idea.
Someone's just joining in and doesn't know what they're doing. And Paul says, Heim just sitting watching flowers in the rain. Ladies and gentlemen, we're playing the Heim game. It's an obscure band that no one's ever heard of, and we're making jokes about their name, and you are joining in, even though some of you don't know what you're joining in with.
They're good, though.
They're good.
And this will be some sort of idea to... I'm going to send all these to the girls from Heim.
These are all names of their future albums.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, wait, we've got nothing really for the listener to get their teeth into today, but I don't mind that. I don't mind that we haven't thrown out a kind of big talk point, but people can just phone in and just have a chat.
What about kissing on the bus?
What about kissing on the bus? We've done, didn't we do this the other day?
We could do kissing on the bus, would you?
Well, why would you want to kiss on a bus?
Why wouldn't you?
This is because two gay lads, the bus driver tossed them off the bus because they were kissing on a bus.
They weren't even doing proper, they weren't even doing...
It was half... Listen,
it was a little peck.
If you've ever been in London, right, and got the night bus, 10:30 at night, I've seen people smoking drugs. I have seen someone...
Yes, I've seen that.
Doing that?
Yeah.
With the... unbelievable.
Yeah.
A little...
Thanks, Lynn.
Kiss. But you can give us a call about that. I mean, we had this thing, didn't we, about some lesbians last week having a little peck in Sainsbury's and getting booted out. I don't like public displays of affection, but if what this gentleman is saying, this is homophobia, isn't it? That's
absolutely.
What
I can't imagine what it must be like to not be able to hold hands with your partner or give them a kiss if you feel so moved to do so. You know, just because of what other people might think, and to be thrown off a bus. Ridiculous. 2014, ladies and gentlemen.
Diana is listening to us in Vancouver, Canada.
Well done, Diana.
I would like to be in Canada right now.
How about you? What do they say over there? Who about you?
Who about you, eh? You want some bacon, eh? I got some bacon for you, eh? Do you want some bacon, eh? Do you want some bacon, eh?
What's bacon, eh?
You want some bacon, eh?
A? They say A a lot.
They say eh at the end of the sentence, eh? Do you want some bacon? How about that bacon, eh? Boyles?
Just had a tweet through from Jade, and I think she wins. I know this isn't a competition. Maybe we could give her a Chufty badge.
We'll give her 500 quid.
I'm being swallowed by
a boa constrictor. I'm being swallowed by a boa constrictor. I'm being swallowed by a boa constrictor.
And
I really
like it very much.
I don't know. Hang on a second. Let's listen before we do the next story. Let's hear the original version. I'm being swallowed by a boa constrictor.
I'm being eaten by a boa constrictor. I'm being eaten by a boa constrictor. I'm being eaten by a boa constrictor. And it goes like this. Oh no, swallow my toe, swallow my toe. Oh gee, swallow my knee, swallow my knee. Oh heck, it swallow my neck, it swallow my neck. Oh dread, it swallow my...
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
It's Tasha's Kids.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Tasha's Kids. That's all that's labelled as Tasha's Kids. Now, here's an interesting and probably very sad story. People living near Wendover Woods fear that a woman sleeping rough there may not survive the winter. Local cafe owners have started leaving out food and warm clothes for her after spotting her going through the bins. Well, John Warbrick from the cafe in the woods is on the line now. Morning, John.
Morning, Ian.
This is a really sad story. How long have you been aware that this woman is in the woods?
Yeah, it is a sad story. I've known about her probably for about the last 3 or 4 years. So she's been, I think she's been living rough now for several years. I think 5 or 6 years. One lady said recently. And yeah, a couple of winters ago, it was the winter that was ever so cold. It was perishing cold at night. It was put down to about -10, -12 at night up at Wendover Woods. And the lady was sleeping in our bin compound, I think just to get off the ground and just to give herself some warmth and some insulation in our bin bags. So yeah, it was ever so sad. So we came and found her one morning sleeping in the bins, and then sort of raised the alarm and tried helping this lady. And I actually sort of followed her into the woods for several miles on one occasion, just trying to talk some reason into her. And
did you manage to speak to her, John?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And she was coherent and could speak back.
Yes, she was. She was speaking in tongues and in riddles and going around in circles. She wasn't quite of sort of sound mind. Something had gone wrong. But yeah, every now and again she made perfect sense. So you kind of, it encouraged you that you were getting through to her, or you were getting somewhere. But 4 miles later, I was so lost. I didn't know where I was.
Any idea how old she is, John?
Yeah, I'd say about 55. Yeah, 50, 55, 60. She looks a lot older, obviously.
And the implication I've kind of just made up from what you said is that maybe there might be some kind of mental illness there as well.
There clearly is, yes. There's clearly something's happened in the past, yeah.
It's so tragic. We don't know anything. Do you know her name or anything like that?
Nothing, unfortunately. We know that she's very religious. She was sleeping down at the bottom of Wendover Woods, between Wendover Woods and Wendover itself, and we found like a little den that she'd made for herself and one of her places that she sleeps. But I think she's got various places that she stays, and she's a real survivor. She's an incredible woman. But it's just so sad that even to think sort of this last night with the wind and the rain, and that some poor lady is out there sleeping under a tree somewhere.
Have you spoken to the police or the council or social services about this?
Yeah, all of those things. So when we first knew that she was definitely around up at the woods, we got in touch with all the relevant services, and the Forestry Commission have been very good about the whole thing too. And we got in touch with a local charity that came up, and we went out searching for her one night. But she's in a place where she really doesn't want any help, so it's ever so hard to get through to her to make her understand that we don't want to do anything. We just want to make sure that she's got a hot meal and some clothes. And
you've been leaving food and things for her, haven't you?
Yes, we have. Not so much recently, but this was again during that really really cold winter. We were leaving coats and shoes and bin bags and food and just some hot tea and coffee and some soup and things like that out for her, just because we honestly didn't think she was going to survive the winter.
And is it true she's got bin bags on her feet?
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and she kind of carries her world on her hands, so she's got sort of various plastic bags, and she's never still. She's always on the move.
Well, John, this story makes me so sad, and well done for doing the bit that you've been doing, because I think other people would have either ignored it or actually, told her to jog on. So well done for at least trying to make contact with her.
Yeah, thank you. And again, I just wanted to say thank you to one of our lovely customers that popped up on Sunday, and they were really concerned and keen to leave something out for the lady. So we left a few bits up there last night, and I'm just about to leave the house now and go and open the cafe.
People like you should be celebrated, and everyone should come and buy a coffee and some food from you. Where exactly? The Cafe in the Woods. How would people find it?
That's nice of you. And yeah, it's Cafe in the Woods. It's right at the top of Wendover Woods. We're open every day of the week. And if you want to look at the website, it's cafeinthewoods.co.uk.
Excellent,
that.
John. Well done, you. I mean, good work. Because I am. Thank you, John. John Warbrick from Cafe in the Woods, Wendover Woods. Go and have something to eat there, because he's one of the good guys, isn't he? Most people. I make up. I imagine a lot of businesses like that would consider that a negative. Someone like that wandering around and would do their best to get rid of them. And John sounds like he's made more than a decent effort to make contact with her and make her life a little bit easier.
Gosh, I had no idea that she'd been out there for years.
Sad, isn't it? My concern always about people like that is the weather to one side. Is that idiots will go and torment. We'll go and.
Very vulnerable.
If anybody, let's put this out there. If anybody knows anything about this woman, I don't need to know her surname or anything like that. This is obviously a life that she has chosen. We don't know if she is capable of necessarily making a rational decision around that. But if anybody knows anything about this poor soul, 08459 455 555.
I've got a text through here from Ben in Buckingham, said, the lady in the woods, do you know if she's been reported as a missing person? Surely there's someone out there who may be missing her.
Well, not necessarily. If she's got no one in her life... Well, John Warbrick, Cafe in the Woods. Well done. We need more people like him, I think. Top bloke. 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off this morning in Hemel Hempstead on the A41. Very heavy moving at the moment between the Hemel Hempstead turn-off and junction 20 for the M25. So far, taking a look at the M25 itself, that's queuing at the moment between junction 17 for Maple Cross and junction 16 for the M40. And also taking a look at the A1M, that's very slow moving between junction 3 at St Albans and junction 1 for the M25. In Cheshunt, it's looking heavy on the A10 between the Great Cambridge Road and junction 25 at the M25 at Enfield. Looking at the trains, and delays on Thameslink in and out of Bedford at the moment due to a signalling problem. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7:30. I'm Simon Oxley. A governor at the Bedfordshire school where the head teacher is going on holiday during term time is calling for the resignation of the chair of governors. The Reverend Jeremy Crocker says he disagrees with the decision to allow Elstow Lower School head teacher Jenny Winder to take a break in the Caribbean in January, and claims governors were given little opportunity to discuss the matter. A shopkeeper who is facing eviction from a business in Hemel Hempstead is blaming most of her financial problems on council roadworks, and travel disruption is predicted today as the remnants of Hurricane Gonzalo sweeps across the UK. More than 100 flights in and out of Heathrow have been cancelled.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Manchester United drew 2-2 at West Brom in the Premier League last night. United twice came from behind to earn a point, which leaves them 10 points behind leaders Chelsea. There's a full Football League programme tonight. Championship leaders Watford host fellow promotion chasers Nottingham Forest in the first home game for new Hornets head coach Slavisa Jokanovic.
I am very exciting. This is a big day for me. It will be first time in our stadium. I am sure my team gonna improve with supporters in the crowd.
In League One, Milton Keynes Dons play their first home league game for a month against Fleetwood, but manager Cole Robinson says he's been pleased with their recent away games.
We look very, very strong defensively. To keep 2 clean sheets on the road, away at Yeovil and away at Leyton Orient on the spin is a difficult task in itself. So I'm very pleased to get a point, very, very pleased. And not the 3 points that we really wanted, but it's a point and it's positive, and we move on to the next game now.
And in League Two, Luton manager John Still welcomes his former club Dagenham to Kenilworth Road. Still admits it will be a special night.
I supported them, played for them, managed them, different times managed them. So of course it is, absolutely it is. But you know, the most important thing is the game.
Also in League Two, leaders Wickham are at Exeter, Stevenage go to Portsmouth. There's commentary on Watford, MK Dons, Luton and Stevenage in Three Counties Sport from 7. And in the Champions League, Manchester City kick off at 5 our time away to CSKA Moscow. Later, Chelsea host the Slovenian side Maribor. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 8.
If you hear a whisper, give us a shout.
Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Getting lots of emails, well, a couple of emails about that poor soul that's living in the woods. And Mark in Bletchley says, and there's two things. There's two things. Sorry, there's two things in this email that I want to flag up.
Go on.
The first one is the email. The second one is something within the email that I'll highlight later on. Mark says, it's strange you're talking about the woman living in the woods. I do a lot of walking off the beaten track here in Milton Keynes, and you'd be surprised what you come across. Tents that come and go with homeless people, and then in the middle of a wooded roundabout area you find them. It's quite sad, really, for 2014. But something that's interested me, you know, we're talking about when people say that you're going bold instead of bald.
Yes.
Okay, it not really annoys me. Remember that bold fella? What, was he brave? No, he didn't have any hair. Oh, you mean bald?
See, we Northerners don't have that problem because we pronounce our vowels properly. So bald and bold.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up. If you could be, but if
my mates do that. That really drives me crackers.
Yeah, I know. But if I could ask, one problem I've got with you is you just need to be a little bit more Pacific. Now, Mark has written here, maybe it's a typo. He's not written off the beaten track. He's written off the beat and track.
Oh, nice. Well, I read earlier on from the vicar, actually, fait accompli is in fate gone fate.
Yes.
It's actually F-A-I-T, like a deed in French. People do that all the time because, you know, there are certain things you don't write down very often.
They don't. Well, another one. I don't know. It took me ages to work out that it's common or garden.
Yes.
I thought it was common or garden, like communal.
Oh, communal.
Yeah.
Communal.
I thought it was common or garden.
Why would you say communal rather than communal?
Why would you say common or garden? I don't even know what that means.
Well, it's like a bird, isn't it? You know, like a garden. You know, they have different, like a lesser spotted. But why would you kind of description of a bird?
Why would you say common or? It's just like
any old, isn't it?
Well, why don't they say that? And what the hell is half of one, 6 a dozen of the other about?
It just means it's the same old thing.
I have something that I've been thinking about.
Oh, God.
When you say, I held on with all of my might, it means you held on with everything you have, yet might is really an uncertain word.
No, it's not. Like strength. Your might. Mighty.
Yeah, but when
you're
same
root.
Yeah, I might do that. Might not.
Yeah, but the word can mean different things, mate. You know that some words can mean different things?
Yes, I do.
Well, then why are you having such difficulty with that, you plum?
Because it completely contradicts itself.
Plum. It means a delicious fruit. In my house, it means my nadgers. Yeah. And it can also mean you're a bit of a...
Wally.
What are you doing with your bag?
Get some music to try and fill this dead air.
What dead air? You started it by talking about
You started it by being a plum.
Oh.
It's like bell. Bell can mean ding dong. You also get a cheese bell.
Yes.
So...
You can get a baby one.
Yeah. There we go.
There we go. Suddenly we can all relax. Right, do you know what my husband says that drives me crackers?
Oh, wait, 459 455 555. I can make up some good jokes.
Box standard. I thought it was bog standard.
Bog standard. Oh, here's one. Let me think what it is. Hang on. Oh, it's...
Off the bat. Off your own bat.
Yeah.
Some people say off your own back.
Yeah, I know, they're idiots. Oh, Oh, I'm trying to think of one that no one gets right.
Oh, I know. Champing at the bit. People say chomping.
They're both valid, actually.
Well,
they're both valid.
Not in my court of law.
I need to. What is it?
Hanged and hung.
No.
Justin's always doing that one.
Yeah, I know.
Obsessed.
Yes! Bits and bobs.
Yeah.
What is it?
Bits and bobs.
No. What should it be?
Bits and bobs.
No,
What's your beef?
She's not getting it. Let's try again, lads. What should bits and bobs be?
Don't know.
She's not getting it, lads, is she?
Bits and bobs.
Yeah, right, that's right. That's wrong. What should bits and bobs be?
Tidied up.
She's not getting it, lads. Don't worry, we'll persevere.
Bits and bobs.
No.
Like German.
08459 455 555. Someone breathe sense into this show. When people say bits and bobs, they're saying it wrong. So what should it be?
Are they?
Yes, they are. Watch the phones go mental.
They're not.
08459 455 555.
Bits and bobs. Bips and bob. Bips and bobs.
No. Close.
Bips and baps.
Bibs and bobs.
Bibs?
Bibs.
No.
Bibs and bobs.
Why
Stop
bibs?
it.
I'm right. I am right. I'm right. It's bibs and bobs.
Why bibs?
I don't know why, Kelly. Why are you called Kelly? Why is this called life?
I can tell you why I'm called Kelly if you really want to know.
Actually, no.
But bibs...
Is it to do with old clothes?
I don't know what it is.
Bib and tucker.
I don't know why. I don't know the etymology of the phrase.
Sense. Well, it makes sense to be bits and bobs.
But it's not. The language doesn't make sense. It's bibs and bobs.
Here's
Pretty
another one.
sure of that.
Yeah. Here's another one.
Yeah.
Tenterhooks. It's tenterhooks.
Yeah, tenterhooks.
I heard someone saying they were sitting on tenterhooks.
I heard someone.
That's uncomfortable.
Someone the other day said instead of mumbo jumbo, they said mumble jumble. Oh, it's all a load of old mumble jumble. Oh, it's all a load of old mumble jumble. Thought you plum. You need a mumble
But do you
jumble.
correct them? I just chuckled myself.
I feel superior.
Yeah.
I feel vaguely superior.
Yeah.
I think you don't know how to speak. Well, you don't know how to speak. It's bibs and bobs.
Yeah, but if you said that, I would think, oh, what a plum. You can't even say bits.
But I would be thinking, I bet she's thinking I can't say bits, but I know that I'm right.
Yeah, it's like you know valet.
Yeah.
That a posh person would have.
Yeah, it's a valet.
It's a valet.
Yeah, I know, that's nuts. It's moet.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I don't dabble in that very much.
Oh, for God's sakes, not him again. What do you want, Richard?
Etymology, that's insects. And to say etymology.
Hello? Gee. Are you going to finish that word, or...?
Etymology.
Is it bibs and bobs or bits and bobs?
Oh, that one. And say off your bat, because off your bat in cricket...
Yeah, you can't say off your back.
One off his back.
I've got no idea what's
going on. Norman Collier.
Norman Collier lives. It's off your bat. Off the bat. I tell you what, a phrase I don't like is step up to the plate.
Why not?
It's an Americanism.
Baseball.
I don't play baseball.
I've run the plates.
Oh, there we go. I've spun the plates.
Have you?
Sure, why not?
That's one of the most annoying acts.
It's
that and juggling. I don't like it.
Oh, the good thing about jugglers is it's really easy to punch them in the face.
And they juggle big things like chairs and tables.
Nah, it's still rubbish.
No, I hate it. I hate juggling. I just think of the mess.
It is rubbish. Nothing good about juggling. Let's go.
Fire eating as well.
Let's go. Let's invite criticism of this act, if we can term it loosely. But let's have
annoying acts.
Annoying acts. Now, someone has just sent me a text. Who is this text from? Oh, it's Scoins.
Yeah, hone in.
Odds and sods.
Wow.
You can say that. Sods of grass. That's what that means, isn't it?
I think.
I hope. So, annoying acts. This one to one side. The juggler. The Chinese plates. Oh, what's that? The what are you doing there?
Sword swallower.
The sword swallower she was miming. Oh, my gosh. Wowzers.
And or fire eater.
08459 455 555 is the phone number. The man what hammers the nail up the nose.
Oh, the bedo nails.
The woman that
I did the bed of nails once, right? The flipping Shaolin monks. They really do my nut in. I'm going to have them Shaolin monks, right? So it's a live TV show, and it's the Shaolin monks, right?
What were they shouting for? Couldn't you hear them?
The Shaolin monks. And in rehearsal, so I was going to do the bed of nails. The bed of nails is easy. It's distribution of weight. It's never going to cause you any problem at all. Unless you got 4 Shaolin monks, arm, leg, and the fella with the right arm doesn't lay you down gently. He drops you down so the nails pierce through your shirt and pierce through your flipping skin, Shaolin monks. So that's another act I don't like, the Shaolin monks.
I don't really like acrobats.
I get too anxious watching
Yeah, I
acrobats. It makes me very, very... I don't like diversity. I mean, I like diversity as a concept. I don't like them as a dance troupe.
Oh, I like that dancing altogether.
Nah.
Yeah, I do. I like dancing altogether.
Nah.
It's brilliant.
I tell you what I like.
I don't like it when the kid starts flying through the air, though. Stop it.
No. Because he bashed his head in Downing Street, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah, they were doing it in Downing Street and he bashed his head.
Right.
I like a good...
Actually, he's a man. I thought he was a child. I thought, gosh, where did they get this child from? And why isn't his mother concerned? Actually, he's a man.
I met diversity once, right? I was doing some filming with them and I was kind of stood next to them and I had nothing to say to them at all. I went, all right, fellas, I really like you. I think you're brilliant. I was lying.
You know how they communicate normally?
Psychic powers.
Through the medium of dance, 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 dance.
Paul's in Biggleswade. Morning, Paul.
Morning, Ian.
What you got for us, boss?
I've got a couple of ones I don't like.
Yeah.
OK. Now, how do you spell OK?
O-K-A-Y.
No, it's OK.
What?
It's O.K, isn't it?
No, it's O-K-A-Y.
Why would you spell it O-K-A-Y?
Because that's how it's spelled.
No, you just spell it OK.
Well, I bet you spell barbecue B-A-R-B-Q.
I don't know how to spell barbecue.
BBQ.
The other one I don't like is brought and bought.
Oh, yeah.
When people,
you mean bring and buy?
When people buy something from the shop and they say, I brought this. And you say, no, you didn't. You brought it. No, I brought it.
I flipping hate that.
Don't engage with them, Paul. It's not worth it.
No, like you're right.
What acts don't you like, Paul?
What acts?
What acts? Or maybe you like all acts.
No, there is one I don't like.
We're here till 9.
Yeah. No,
Is it knife throwing?
No,
You don't mind that?
No.
Magic. I like magic. I like a good hypnotist.
I like it when they stuff a handkerchief into their hands and then whoosh.
I know how they do that. Fake thumb. Paul, remember what act you don't like yet?
No, I can't.
You're going to have a disappointing evening, Paul. You'll be out one night and halfway through an act you go, oh, I don't like this. Here's something, and I'm going to ask the question.
Oh, no.
Why do some people say ax and not ask? Where does that come from? There was a girl at my school... I remember about 7 years old, and she was made to stand up in front of the class because she could not say ask. And the teacher said, ask. A-S-K. Ask. No, it's ask.
Do you want to hear my guess?
Yeah.
And it is just a guess.
Yeah.
I think it's a Caribbean thing.
Really? It's black people that generally, that I've noticed, and now young street people of all ethnicities say
So
it.
I wonder whether it's some sort of patois.
08459 455 555. Why do some people say arcs and not ask? And if you say arcs, do you realise that you're saying arcs? Maybe you don't realise, because this girl at school, she thought she was saying ask.
Or maybe it's like me when I say bath. Yeah, I'm doing it on purpose. Deal with it.
08459 455 555. Terry's in Luton. Terry, what can I ask you? What upsets you?
Good morning.
Good morning, Terence.
Well, you guys all over the BBC say acceptable instead of acceptable.
So, give me that again, because that really is a fine point you've picked up on there. Say that again.
Yeah, acceptable. Have you ever looked to see if there's a word called acceptable?
With an E?
Yeah, there's no such word as acceptable. It's acceptable.
Oh.
And you all guys say he accepted this and he accepted that. Well, it's accepted.
See, have you noticed if I do it? Because I think I say acceptable.
You say acceptable. You do it all the time.
Oh, do I? Oh, I'm really...
Yeah, and everybody on the BBC 24-hour news.
Right.
You're all accepting and acceptable.
Right, Terry. I accept that criticism, and I appreciate you highlighting it. And you're the seed that's going to change the BBC. I accept what you're saying, Catherine. Do you find that acceptable?
I find that highly acceptable.
Thank you, Terry.
It's
Except
very acceptable.
when you're making an exception.
Oh, Terry, thank you for that. Right, I accept that.
I don't say it wrong. I say everything right.
Sorry?
Yeah.
You don't say. You got to say it with that silly Frank Sidebottom voice.
What do you mean, boss?
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
For this morning, warning from the Met Office, weather warning for gales across the three counties, so do be aware of that when you're out on the roads this morning. The M1 heading southbound's very slow between junction 11 for Dunstable Road and junction 9 for Redbourne. Taking a look in Hemel Hempstead and the A41, that's looking very slow between the Hemel Hempstead turn-off and junction 20 for the M25. The M25 itself, that's queuing between junction 17 at Maple Cross and junction 16 for the M40. And the M40 you're heading London bound, that's very slow moving between junction 5 at Stoking Church and junction 4 for the High Wycombe Handy Cross roundabout. So far, taking a look at the Barnet bypass, that's looking slow on camera between Stirling Corner and Mill Hill Circus, and delays at the moment of about 15 minutes on Thameslink in and out of Bedford due to a signalling problem. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much. Lots of your suggestions for words that are mispronounced. Mispronunciation is one. Everyone says, mispronunciation. Oh, it annoys me. And acts you don't like. And why do some people say ux and not ask? 08459 455 555. 7:47, Tuesday the 21st of October. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A governor at the Bedfordshire school, where the head teacher is going on holiday during term time, is calling for the resignation of the chair of governors. A shopkeeper who is facing eviction from her business in Hemel Hempstead is blaming most of her financial problems on council roadworks. And residents in Buckinghamshire say they are increasingly concerned about a woman living in Wendover Woods. Let's get the weather. Here's Kate.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A very windy day across all three counties. The Met Office has a yellow weather warning in place across Buckinghamshire, Bedfordshire and Hertfordshire as well. We could be seeing gusts of 40, 50 miles per hour for some, maybe even 55 on higher ground. So a very blustery day. One or two showers around as well. They're coming thick and fast at the moment, actually, and they're squally showers. When they blow through, that's when our biggest gusts are likely to occur. So yes, it's not a very pleasant day. Between the showers, though, we will get some decent sunshine. A cold front moved through earlier on this morning, which means we should get some clearer air and some sunny spells. The temperature, though, is going to work backwards today. It's actually going to get colder by the end of the afternoon, with temperatures dropping to around 11 or 12 Celsius, so much colder than it has been recently. Overnight, a clear night eventually. We'll get the temperatures dropping down. The wind falls a touch lighter, not significantly, less fierce than today's winds, but however it does keep the air significantly churned up, so the minimum temperature down to 4 Celsius. A chilly start for Wednesday, but a sunny one, but then the cloud increases through the day, still breezy, a maximum temperature of 13 Celsius. And that's your forecast.
Shrink Wrapped, every Sunday from 1.
Can we firstly start by talking about what dementia actually is?
Dementia itself is not an illness, but it's more a descriptive umbrella term.
Shrink Wrapped.
He was a pilot prior to this.
He just didn't want to be on his own anywhere, and he wouldn't go out very much.
So once you are diagnosed, what other help is out there for people?
Even sometimes I struggle to find information, and it's just a constant battle for everybody all the time.
Shrink Wrapped, every Sunday from 1 on BBC Three Counties Radio. Call 08459
Here we go.
455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
One of the joys of doing this show is the indulgence you give us, because most shows, they have their talking points before the show starts, and they go with it, and they stick with it, and they work it, and that's great. That works for them. We can't do that. Catherine and I can't do that. We can't come up with those good talking points before the show. They tend to evolve as the show develops, and that's what makes this so special. So we've just come up with two genius ones. We've come up with acts you don't like.
Yeah.
And wrong words. Scott says, I don't like it when people say espresso.
Espresso.
Thank you very much indeed. And Michael has got a really good one here. It's not hell of a mess, it's hell mess.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Paul's in Snowburns. Morning, Paul.
Good morning, young man.
What you got for us, boss?
Good. Where do I start? News people and weather people always go Monday. It's not Monday. It's Monday, Saturday, Wednesday. It's not.
No, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
I know. It drives me mad.
Monday.
What do they go? What do they go?
They go Monday. Hey, today on Monday or Tuesday. No, it's not. It's not D-I. It's D-A-Y.
All right, say what's the third day of the week, Paul?
Wednesday.
No.
No.
Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
Wednesday. There's a D and an N.
I love the way you go February.
I'm saying the first R. No one says the first R in February. Imagine my favourite time of year is every Wednesday in February.
Wednesday.
Wednesday in February.
Wednesday.
You're tripping over everything.
Here's one. Right. There's a street in London, right?
Yeah.
Baker Street is off it. Loads of streets run off it. It's a really big street, right? I'm going to spell it to you. Marylebone. How would you say that?
Marylebone.
Wrong.
Marylebone.
Correct. It's Marylebone. It's Bob Marylebone.
Mm-hmm. I actually would have said Marylebone to begin with.
Well, you wouldn't have, because you had the opportunity to say it to begin with, and you didn't.
Know, but I thought you'd try and trip me up. So,
I think those London roads are tricky on purpose, though, and some of those places. What is it? Haynote. Yeah, how do you say it?
I like Ashby de la Zouche.
Yeah.
It's Haynote, isn't it?
Haynote, don't dream it's over.
Lord.
Paul, any others before I cut you off? Thank you very much indeed. 08459 455 555. Words. Haynote, don't dream it's over.
I'll never be able to ride that train again.
Sorry? 08459 455 555. Words that are said incorrectly and acts you don't like. But before that, something a little bit more important, perhaps, in your sphere. Parents in Hertfordshire are being offered help with their kids' homework. The County Council has organised a number of special classes for mums and dads who struggle to support their children's education. Carol Bennett is Head of Business Development at Hearts for Learning. How has this come about, Carol?
Hello. I work for Hearts for Learning. As you said, we're an organisation that's sole mission, really, is to raise standards in learning in Hertfordshire. And we spent a lot of time talking to our schools about how we can improve standards and how we can help them to get their pupils to learn more. And actually, the interesting thing was, as we watched the research, because we're a very research-based organisation, we noticed time and time again that the important factors in a child's learning were actually how involved the parents are, what kind of things they say to their children, how they work with their children, how engaged they are with the children. And this comes out in many, many studies. A critical one was the Sussex University recent study that parents can make up to a 30% difference to the achievement of their children. And schools, they found actually only made up to a 5% difference, whether or not they were a good or an Ofsted less good school. So we looked at this a great deal, and obviously many of us are parents and carers ourselves. We spoke to lots of parents on the school gates and the parents in our families, talking to them about how they do work with their children. And what we found was there was a huge difference between the skills and techniques that we as teachers had been taught and the skills and techniques that parents had been taught. So we've worked really hard to develop a new programme for parents that's fun, that isn't really riddled with jargon, that means they can get really involved with their child's learning at home.
I guess the problem is that those parents who are already involved with their child's learning won't need this, and the people that you'll be trying to approach are those people that have been put off from education in the past. So how are you going to... And the word... When people say the word fun, part of me shivers.
Yeah. It can be the middle-aged fun. No, we've worked really hard on that. We've actually carried out 3 pilots. What we don't want to have is a targeted programme that's only taken up by one group of parents. This is a programme that's useful for everybody, because actually, although parents may be engaged with learning, what they often haven't had are the technical tips and tricks that are quite easy to learn that we as teachers have had in our training. And it's really interesting if you talk to parents, there is this shock that actually it's really easy to modify your language, to change your activities at home. It takes no more time, but these are the tips and tricks we use in the classroom all day, and if we can flow these through at home, we can have a huge impact. So every parent finds this useful. We've carried out 3 pilots, and all kinds of parents from all kinds of backgrounds, whether they be primary age or secondary age or from special schools, are finding this has a real impact on their child's ability and keenness to learn, because that's what we're keen to do, is make sure children want to learn. It's kind of the sales of learning. Again, if you look at the research, if all children, if you study their academic outcomes, the children that get the best academic outcomes will live longer, they score happier in happy indexes, and they also earn more money in the longer run. So it's really important that we help our children want to learn for a long time.
Carol, if people want to find out more about this, how do they?
Well, they can contact us at heartsforlearning.co.uk, or they can search for Parent to Parent. So that's parent, the word, to the number parent. If they Google that, they'll find out more. If they're in the Hemel, Radlett or London Colney area, there's a pilot running right now. If they're elsewhere in the county or in one of Buckinghamshire, they can contact us and we can organise one in their local school.
Carol, thank you very much.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
08459 455 555. I had the joy of my eldest reading a new book to me last night.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
It's brilliant, and he was getting really stuck on the word hop because it was written in a strange way. It was written hop, ... hop, ... hop. So we would read it hop, hop, hop. But the three dots confused him, and he couldn't get his head around it. And then when he got his head around it, he struggled to get his head around it. When he got his head around it, he was clapping himself. The joy that he could do this, and he was getting towards the end. It was getting quite tricky. And he was getting very frustrated. And I said, do you know what? You've done enough. You've done really well. We can put this down and you can go to bed now. He said, no, I want to finish the book.
It's a game.
No. I want to finish the book. My boy.
Isn't it funny? Because when they first come back from school with this sort of... it's all phonics at the moment. I thought, really? This is never going to work. We got a chart where you had to look at the sounds and it just looked overly complicated to me. But when they get it, it's magic.
It's the doorway is opened to them.
We've got a lot of text through. Peter says, I love it when Catherine says bath. Please say it again. It always makes me smile. Hey, Peter, bath. Espresso instead of espresso, says Neil.
Yeah.
That's kind of middle class anxiety, isn't it, really, that one? And, things that people don't like, acts that people don't like. Clowns and mimes are high up there.
Oh, gosh.
I can't stand those men in the street, and women sometimes, that paint themselves silver and stand there still.
That's not an act. Standing still is not an act.
You give them 50p, I would never indulge that, but you give them 50p and they might move slightly. That's not an act.
I tell you the act I do like that isn't an act but is an act. It's the fella that's painted gold, right? No.
You lost me.
He's holding he's on a stick and he's floating.
Yeah.
That is brilliant.
I saw a brilliant street act once. It's the only one I've ever liked, right? And it was a man.
I've got to go to Daniel in Aylesbury.
It looked like a rabbit in a hutch.
I've got 45 seconds.
Okay, but it was a man's head in the rabbit. It was a talking rabbit.
Daniel's in Aylesbury. I'm sorry that you had to hear about a man having his head shoved up a rabbit's bottom there, Daniel. What have you got for us?
That's okay. Phrases I hate: would have, should have, could have, instead of would have, should have, and could have.
You need to have a word with Beverly Knight, because I think she had a song called Shoulda, Woulda, Coulda.
And also acts I hate: Christmas parties, acrobats that go up and down from the ceiling on what looks like a length of toilet roll. Absolutely drives me mad.
That's not an act, is it?
No, but they come on during a break dinner. Everyone turns round and they go up and down, dangling from this toilet roll. Everyone says, "Ooh!" They're like, it's just someone dangling from toilet roll. Come on,
Daniel. Thank you very much. Not the best line, Daniel, but you can call again. And Ken says, acts I hate: amateur comedy. I only want to see a comic if I know he'll be good. Otherwise, it's like watching an execution. Oh, I love bad tryout spots. Oh, that's my favourite evening.
Cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off this morning in Hemel Hempstead, the A41's looking very slow heading southbound between the Hemel Hempstead turn-off and junction 20 for the M25. Very slow on the M25 itself, heading anti-clockwise between junction 21A for St Albans and junction 16, the M40. Very heavy moving on the A41 at the moment, Northwestern Avenue, just at St Albans Road. And the M40's looking very heavy at the moment, London bound between junction 5 at Stokenchurch and junction 4 for the High Wycombe Handy Cross roundabout. On the trains, delays at the moment on Thameslink out of Bedford due to a signalling problem, so do check before travelling. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Nicola. I always thought I wanted to write a TV show and I never got round to it because I'm lazy. It's about comedy open spots, about someone who wants to be a weatherman. They really want to be a weatherman, but they can't get a break, so they just go to like comedy clubs and do the weather. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Someone write it for me. I'd like to watch that, please.
Local and vocal across Beds, Herts and Bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: Bedfordshire vicar wades into head teacher holiday row, struggling shop owner blames Hemel roadworks, and concern for woman living rough in Buckinghamshire woods.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A governor at the Bedfordshire school where the head teacher is going on holiday during term time is calling for the resignation of the chair of governors. The Reverend Jeremy Crocker says he disagrees with the decision to allow Elstow Lower School head teacher Jenny Winder to take a break in the Caribbean in January, and claims governors were given little opportunity to discuss the matter. More from Catherine Boyle.
In a letter to BBC Three Counties Radio, the Reverend Crocker, who's the rector of Elstow Abbey as well as a parent governor at Elstow School, says he feels implicated as a possible source of the leak to the press over Mrs Winder's holiday in a letter home to parents yesterday. He denies this, but says he did raise the matter with the Chair of Governors, Kevin Hunter, because he had misgivings about what he calls the double standard of a head teacher taking holiday in term time. The Reverend Crocker says the decision was presented to them as a fait accompli, and Mrs Winder was present in the meeting, something she's denied.
A shopkeeper who is facing eviction from her business in Hemel Hempstead is blaming most of her financial problems on council roadworks. Michelle Smith has run off-the-wall antiques in Hemel Old Town for 14 years. She admits there were money problems before the year-long repairs, but says things have got worse.
You know, everybody is commenting on the lack of footfall up there, and so everybody is still finding it immensely difficult. The situation couldn't be any worse, really. I have a notice of eviction giving me a date of the 28th of October, which is next Tuesday at 11 o'clock.
The South African athlete Oscar Pistorius will learn later whether he'll be jailed for shooting dead his girlfriend Reva Steenkamp on Valentine's Day last year. The Paralympian is hoping to avoid jail after he was found guilty of culpable homicide. A paralysed man has become the first in the world to walk again as a result of a revolutionary procedure which involved transplanting cells from his nose into his severed spinal cord. The treatment was carried out by neurosurgeons in Poland, working in collaboration with scientists in London. Residents in Buckinghamshire say they're becoming increasingly concerned about a woman living in Wendover Woods. The woman has been seen foraging for food in the bins outside a nearby cafe. John Warbrick runs Cafe in the Woods.
When we first knew that she was definitely around up at the Woods, we got in touch with all of the relevant services, and we got in touch with a local charity that came up, and we went out searching for her one night. But she's in a place where she really doesn't want any help, so it's ever so hard to get through to her to make her understand that we don't want to do anything. We just want to make sure that she's got a hot meal and some clothes.
Strong winds are expected to cause disruption across much of the United Kingdom today as the remnants of Hurricane Gonzalo sweep in from the Atlantic. More than 100 flights in and out of Heathrow have been cancelled. Virgin Trains has imposed speed restrictions along the West Coast Main Line in Lancashire. In sport, there's a full Football League programme tonight with matches for Watford, MK Dons, Wickham, Luton and Stevenage. The weather, the wet and windy conditions should clear, followed by sunny spells and scattered showers, but staying windy and feeling much colder, a maximum temperature 12 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/Three Counties.
BBC Three Counties Radio's big tour of beds, hearts and bucks.
It's a super village. It's got all the amenities.
Telling everyone about where you live.
It's a nice atmosphere, people walking the dogs.
In snow, in sunshine, it's beautiful at sunset.
All this week, we're uncovering Barton le Clay.
I wouldn't leave it. If you paid me millions, I still wouldn't leave. I love it here.
The big tour of beds, hearts and bucks. BBC Three Counties Radio.
Man alive, the show really has taken off in the last 35 minutes. You're so patient. You get to hear our workings out. Most other shows turn up and they're ready to go. The best stuff comes when we're just, well, I nearly swore then, messing around. Acts you don't like, the mispronunciation of words, and other slightly more serious things. If you want to take part, 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Carpet Martin. Cafes with menus offering paninis. Panini is the plural word, so paninis is like saying sandwiches is.
Should be panino. It should.
Should it?
I've been to Italy. I asked for a panino.
Michael says, acts I hate, the Sister Act films, especially the second Back in the Habit. Rubbish. Now, I knew I deliberately said something controversial earlier on.
Did you?
Yeah. I snuck something controversial into the conversation knowing that someone would bite.
You sneaked something in.
I've gone what some people like to call moron fishing. I don't call it that because I think that's rude. But
what
some
did
people
you do?
I said something that I knew some people would find offensive to see them come. I said, what's the third day of the week? The response was Wednesday.
Wednesday. It's got to sound a bit like you've got a cold. Wednesday.
Yeah. Paul on Twitter says, you're wrong. Third day of the week is Tuesday. There are people who believe that Sunday is the first day of the week. And I knew that they would bite. You're totally wrong, Paul. How can Sunday, the last day of the weekend, be the first day of the week? Monday is the first day of the week. I start work at the beginning of the week, not Sunday. I've made Sunday my day off.
It's your day of rest.
It's my day of rest. Monday is the first day of the week. Sunday is the last day of the week. I think I'm offending the Jewish faith by saying that. But I'm prepared to take those guys on because they are wrong on this. I will take on the Jewish faith. I don't know if it is... But there is a school of thought that Sunday is the last day of the week. Incorrect.
You said
first day of the week.
Yeah.
Incorrect.
The school of thought is, it is the Judeo-Christian school of thought.
08459 455 555. Come on, guys. You know this. Monday's the first day of the week.
And who said never kiss me on a Sunday, because that's my day of rest?
That was Demis Roussos, wasn't it?
Really? Wow, what's he got about Sunday?
And to be honest, if I were Demis Roussos wearing those caftans, I would take kisses whenever they're offered. I don't think he can be turning too many down. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. Now, story that we covered yesterday, big national story at the weekend, the row over an Elstow head teacher's decision to take a week off in term time. You may remember this. The headmistress, Jenny Winder, who I believe can be quite strict when it comes to parents taking time off during the term or taking their kids out of school, is taking a week off to go to the Caribbean. We don't know why. If it's for health reasons, or if there is a bigger reason to this, then that's all well and good. Well, then surely she should come out and justify it. If it's for a jolly, then that's a bad example, isn't it? Well, the story took a twist last night and this morning. We were emailed by one of the school governors, the Reverend Jeremy Crocker. He's calling for the chair of governors to resign, suggesting that the rest of the board were pressurised into allowing Jenny Winder to take leave. He's also concerned about the contents of a letter that was sent home with the children last night. Justin is in Elstow now. Morning, Just.
Hello, boss.
Have you managed to find the Reverend Crocker?
No, I've made various phone calls this morning. Right. According to the people I have spoken to, he is away and will be for a few days. I've passed on my telephone number, and it's now down to him to phone me and hopefully come on your programme today, if not tomorrow.
Well, I suspect that he would like to come on at some point because he has emailed. He's emailed us. He's emailed the Daily Mail. He's emailed the Beds on Sunday. He's emailed the Mayor of Bedford, and I believe he's emailed Jenny Winder as well, looking at this list of CC. So he wants people to know about this. He's concerned about a letter that was sent home with kids last night. He's worried that it unfairly portrays him as a whistleblower. Have you managed to find a copy of the letter yet, Just?
Yes. I'm not going to say how I've managed to get this letter, but I'm currently outside the school. I have a copy of the letter here. It's quite a long letter, so let me go through some of the key points.
Thank you.
It starts off by saying, Dear parents and carers, I feel that it's necessary for me to explain the situation which has caused parents to be asked by various reporters to comment several times in the last week, and that is likely to continue.
Just to interrupt, Justin. Sorry, just to interrupt. Sorry, this is from Jenny Winder. Is it the headmistress?
Yeah, this is from the head teacher, Mrs. Jenny Winder.
Okay,
and that's how she starts this letter.
Yep.
She goes on to explain what's been happening. She says, I followed due process in requesting special leave due to exceptional circumstances. The policy states that a member of staff can request special leave in line with this policy. Each application is considered on its personal merits by the head teacher. When special leave relates to the head teacher, it will be for the chair of governors to consider the request in line with this policy. She goes on to say, I took the decision to bring the matter before the governor's Human Resources Subcommittee, even though the policy didn't state this step. I correctly left the room while a discussion took place. On returning to the room, I was informed that special leave had been granted.
Let me just interrupt there,
Justin. That's not the case.
Yeah, I was about to say that the Reverend is suggesting that Mrs. Winder didn't leave the room when this was discussed.
That's what he says to us in the email. Again, I shall read what it says here. I correctly left the room while a discussion took place. On returning to the room, I was informed that the special leave had been granted.
Let me just read what the Reverend says. In direct regards to that line, this is untrue. The reality was that the governors were given no opportunity to discuss the issue without Mrs. Winder there, and the chair was very firm that he'd made the decision already. So complete contradiction. So someone's got that wrong.
Yeah, how interesting. She goes on to say, unbeknown to other governors, one of the governors who had agreed the leave in the meeting over a month later contacted the chair of governors under a confidential and without prejudice basis.
And Jeremy Crocker says that is him. He can confirm it was me who wrote a confidential letter to the chair of governors.
OK. The governors only became aware of this when an extraordinary governors' meeting was called, and the governor excused their attendance and informed all governors that they had written in confidence to the chair of governors with their concerns. An extraordinary governors' meeting was held on the 8th of October and attended by 9 of the 13 governors. A 10th governor delegated their vote to a governor in attendance. A vote of confidence was taken for the chair of governors and the head teacher. The vote was unanimous in favour of both. The governors in attendance at the meeting issued an apology to myself for making my personal life public by a breach in the governor's code of practice under the confidentiality clause. She goes on to say here...
How long is this letter, Justin? Because with the greatest respect to Mrs. Winder, she's been accused of being... what was the phrase, Catherine?
Kind of high-handed.
She's being high-handed, and this is a very long, dare I say it, self-indulgent, slightly pompous letter.
I mean, I have to say, it took me a long while to get hold of this morning because most parents I spoke to had thrown it in the bin because they thought it was just absolute rubbish. Their words, not mine. It goes on to say here, the words of Jenny Winder, the head teacher, it is not my place to make personal circumstances public because it affects other people and infringes on their personal confidential rights. And lastly, I thank so many of you for your total support. Your comments and letters have given me strength.
Oh, dear.
I feel very privileged and proud that so many of you know me so well, and you know that I wouldn't have asked for special leave unless I was absolutely certain that should the request be granted, it would have no negative impact whatsoever on the pupil's education. I look forward to continuing
Signed Her
to
Majesty
work with you.
the Queen.
Yes, that is the letter, which I find incredible. I'll say it again. A lot of people have thrown this letter in the bin. I managed to get hold of a copy of it. There it is in full for our listeners, and they can make their own minds up this morning.
I'm a little bit speechless, Justin. It's a very self-important, overly long letter.
Well, again, to be fair to Jenny Winder, that the invitation to come on the programme is there.
She's not going
again.
to do that, is she?
Yeah, but to make the invitation, it's there again. But people have said to me this morning, parents are saying, it's all very well sending out this letter, but it doesn't really tell us anything. We want to know what's so exceptional about your circumstances when we've been to you in the past and you've turned down our request.
Still, we're all aware of the procedure now, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Justin, thank you for that. Well done for getting that letter. Do you remember when Angus Deaton presented Have I Got News for You?
Yes.
And he had to stop presenting it because he became the story that they were talking about every week. He became the focus of it because he'd done some naughty things. It kind of feels like that in that this Mrs. Winder is becoming the story of the school, and that letter doesn't seem to really tell it. It doesn't tell us. It doesn't address anything. She is now the focus of the school. All she needs to do is come out and say it's a private health thing, or it's a private family thing. Because the implication I've got from that letter is it's a jolly, and she fancies a break.
I think it sounds more like, well, it's none of your business anyway.
Yeah, and
I've done it all by the book, so keep your beak out.
08459 455 555 is the telephone number. I was quite happy to let this lie yesterday, but that letter, if I got a letter like that from a head teacher at my boys' school, I'd actually be quite angry. I think I'd be a little bit. Why? Hang on a second. Why are you kicking off? Why are you kicking back a little bit? That's not your position to kick back. 08459 455 555. If you got that from the headmistress of one of your girls, how would that make you feel, Kath?
I think it's an odd reaction.
Isn't it? Isn't it just? Your thoughts, please. We're also taking your calls on mispronunciations that annoy you and your least favourite acts. 08459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off on the M1, it's looking very slow moving, heading southbound between junction 12 for Flitwick and junction 9 for Redbourne. The M25 heading anti-clockwise, rather slow on the speed sensors between junction 21A for St Albans and junction 16 for the M40. The M40 itself heading into London's looking rather slow between junction 5 for Stoke-on-Church and junction 4 for the High Wycombe Handy Cross roundabout, and it's queuing on the Barnet bypass heading southbound between Stirling Corner and Mill Hill Circus. So far, checking on the trains and delays on Thameslink in and out of Bedford at the moment due to a signalling problem. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Nicola. I'm feeling the prisoners coming on, guys. 8:16, it's Tuesday the 21st of October. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. A governor at the Bedfordshire school where the head teacher is going on holiday during term time is calling for the resignation of the chair of governors. A shopkeeper who's facing eviction from her business in Hemel Hempstead is blaming most of her financial problems on council roadworks. And residents in Buckinghamshire say they are becoming increasingly concerned about a woman living in Wendover Woods.
BBC Three Counties Radio. Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Jonathan Vernon Smith.
Good morning.
Cracking first hour yesterday.
Oh, thanks very much.
You a bit deaf in one ear?
Yes, these aren't working.
Do you want me to hit you?
No.
Please let me hit you.
Tempting though that may be.
No?
No, if I put my finger there...
Oh, cheeky.
If I put my finger there,
yes,
then the headphones work. You see, that's helpful.
A very interesting first hour yesterday. I believe that there is more to come, is there?
There is, absolutely. From 9 o'clock this morning, I'll be asking, do you think Jenny Winder should cancel her Caribbean holiday? BBC Three Counties Radio has received an email from a parent governor at Elstow School criticising the decision by head Jenny Winder to take a Caribbean holiday during term time. As you've been discussing this morning, Ian, Reverend Jeremy Crocker, who is the rector of Elstow Abbey, says he voted for the holiday somewhat uncomfortably, as the governors weren't given any opportunity to properly discuss the matter, and the chair made it clear the decision had already been taken. In his email, which arrived in our inbox late last night, Reverend Crocker claims he warned the panel allowing a teacher to take leave during term time would gain attention from the press and could open the school to accusations of double standards. He now wants the chair of governors to resign and for Jenny Winder to cancel her holiday. Well, from 9 this morning, I want to know if you think she should cancel her holiday. What's the general vibe you're getting this morning, Ian?
We've not had too many calls, but I've got an email here from Ken. Ken says, in regards to Jenny Winder, so her private life is confidential, and yet a parent who wants to take their child on holiday has to tell her their private life to justify it. Jenny sounds like she's managed to get a tame head governor in place and is now taking full advantage.
Oh. Well, from 9, I'd very much like your response to this. Now we have heard this letter from Reverend Jeremy Crocker. Does that change your mind about it? Do you think Jenny Winder should cancel her Caribbean holiday, or are you still of the opinion, look, if she's got a reason for taking the holiday, if the Board of Governors, for whatever reason at that time, gave approval for it, then that's their business, and everybody else should frankly just butt out. 08459 455 555. It's the big phone in from 9.
Tonight, Three Counties Sport will bring you another 4 live games.
Watford at home to Nottingham Forest.
Shoots into the corner! And Watford take the lead!
MK Dons entertain Fleetwood.
Powell with a shot, and it's in the back of the net, and Powell's got a second.
Luton host John Still's former club, Dagenham.
Callan to make it 2-0, and does so!
And Stevenage travel to Portsmouth.
Chance here for Stevenage, and they have scored! Back in the game!
Plus regular updates from Wickham.
Three Counties Sport. Tonight from 7, here on BBC Three Counties Radio.
08459 455 555. We'll get back to acts you don't like. Juggling, fire breathers, sword swallowers, plate spinners, acrobats, and others. 08459. Kath, wake up, Kath! Wake up!
She's on the phone.
08459 455 555 is the phone number. But now, rather sad story. Autumn's here, and you know what? Enough cold and wet. It's going to get colder, and it's going to get wetter. Well, sadly, it would appear that there is a woman who has been sleeping rough in Wendover Woods, and if stories are to be believed, she could have been living there for 3, 4, 5 years. She's been spotted wandering through the trees and going through the bins of a local cafe. Its owners are so worried about her, they've started leaving food and warm clothes out for her. Well, Karen Warner is from the Aylesbury Homeless Action Group, who's tried to help with this in the past. Morning, Karen.
Good morning.
This is a very sad story, isn't it?
Indeed, yeah, it's not good.
What, if people don't want to get help, then I suppose there's nothing that can be done, is there?
It's really, really difficult because it's obviously down to anybody's choice. If you were very worried about somebody, and then the best advice I would give is to ring the police, to be honest. But yes, it's difficult. You can't make anybody accept help.
Is there a danger that if you do ring the police about someone who may be living in the woods, that person might then be arrested or might be forced to in a situation that they don't want to be in?
Yeah, no, you're right. The police is only for absolute danger or if you're very concerned for somebody's safety. There's an organisation called StreetLink, so if streetlink.org.uk, if anyone could go on there, if they've spotted anybody that's sleeping rough or they're concerned for themselves, anybody can be referred into them, and services like ourselves will pick them up.
And have you been aware of this woman living in Wendover Woods?
Yes, the cafe contacted me probably a couple of years ago now, and I had a chat with them then and gave them some advice about what the best thing to do was. But again, like I said, we can't force anybody to come to us. We're here for people if they want help. We can't make anybody.
The implication is that she is mentally ill in some capacity, and is perhaps not making the best decisions for herself. Mm-hmm. When it's a situation like that, when there is potential mental illness there, are there powers to take that person for their own protection and put them in a safe place?
Yes, yeah, there are. If it was the right thing to do, but obviously that's not my job and my prerogative. We deal with lots of different people, lots of different issues. But if someone was severely unwell, then yes, that was where the police would come in.
Karen, tell us about the Aylesbury Homeless Action Group. What do you do and how do you do it?
Sure. Yeah, so we've been really up and running for quite a long time, but we've been going for the last 5 years. We work with anybody that's over the age of 18 who is single, so not families, and we will offer them support, advice, signposting, referrals to help people in this very difficult situation. We will help them look at their options that they've got, help them to try and find housing, look at any other issues that have caused them to be homeless, and then continue to support them once they're housed as well.
It's really nice to talk to you, Karen. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much indeed. Karen Warner from the Aylesbury Homeless Action Group.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yeah, Boyle.
Yeah.
We're having fun today.
Yeah.
Nobody else is.
We've got loads of texts.
Go on then.
Mispronunciations that annoy me.
Yes.
The word scone, spelt phonetically so you can read it correctly. Scone. It's the word cone with an S on the front.
No, it's not.
Scone. I say scone.
It's scone. It's scone. There's a poem, isn't there? And in the poem, it says it's pronounced scone, and that poem is wrong. That's how I remember it. That poem. It's scone. Because when you eat them, they've all gone. Scone. They've scone.
Scone.
But it is scone.
Scone. I say scone.
Yeah.
We agree.
Yeah, we agree on something.
Okay, there we go.
We also agree that you're...
Dave from Bedford. Oh. Says, please say our and not our.
That's you. That's a northern thing.
No, I don't say that, no.
All right, Al Kelly.
No, because actually I'm saying our, but, my natural inclination and that of my cousins, if you were to hear my cousins say our, they'd say ah.
If they take their face out of the swill slop buckets.
Outrageous.
Yes.
They're fine, upstanding people.
Oh, they can stand up now, can they?
Do you know what? Oh, you're so brave when they're 200 miles away.
Yeah, I am, because they've not worked out turn radio on yet.
Our aunt needs a trucker, he might be nearby. Anthony, if you're about, pop by.
I don't know how to do brakes, Kath.
08459 455 555, our aunt. Now,
What are you saying numbers for? What's this numbers mean?
Stop it.
I don't like it when people say redo again. Redo it again.
That's a tautology. I don't like AM.
I don't like tautologists either. They get on my nerves. So you can get into a tiny box. Who cares?
I've noticed BBC correspondents saying it happened at 5 a.m. in the morning.
Contortionists.
Stop that now.
I was talking about contortionists, which I do actually like a good contortionist.
Linda,
I could do contortionary.
Shush, shush. Words that Linda in Sheffield doesn't like. Anything. And coleslaw.
Coleslaw, yeah. It annoys me when people don't say Skellington properly.
Yeah, that is really annoying, especially because Halloween's coming. Be respectful.
We were at the garden centre yesterday buying some stuff for the rabbit, and they were selling some great Skellingtons.
Were they?
Oh, the youngest was loving it.
I don't like double negatives either.
Sorry?
Double negatives.
Par example?
Like when someone says, I didn't do nothing.
Okay, we're not doing double negatives today, mate. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So far you flagged up tautology. You know next week is tautology week. Well done, you've ruined that. Let's cancel that now.
I was looking ahead.
And you know that December was double negative month. Well, we're cancelling that now. Are you happy? Are you happy?
Well done.
All the work that the team upstairs have put into double negative month and tautology week ruined because of you.
And let's forget the street entertainment season because people don't like it.
Alistair is in where?
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning, Alistair.
Right, the head teacher.
It's got off to a good start. Yeah. Oh, yes, go on. That's what we were talking about, wasn't it? Yes, Jenny Winder, yes.
Yeah, she's on emergency leave, I gather, due to extenuating circumstances.
I've not heard the phrase emergency leave used.
Well, it's okay. Well, it's extraordinary leave outside of her normal holiday entitlement.
But emergency leave, it can't be... I think that may be a phrase you've made up. And emergency leave, it can't be that much of an emergency if it's in January.
Exactly the point I was going to make. She's asked for exceptional leave, I think was the phrase that was used.
Right.
On your show.
No, she said there are exceptional circumstances.
Say that again, please.
Okay, exceptional circumstances. The question still is, what sort of exceptional circumstances can you book 3 months in advance that can't be resolved in either of the half-term or the Christmas holiday that is occurring between her booking this leave and the time she's taking it?
It's a good point, Alistair. I'd love to put it to her.
I can only think of one.
Go on.
The only thing I could think of that could possibly be that far in advance would be maybe a family wedding or christening.
Yeah.
But I can't see what would be so difficult in...
If a parent can't get time off in the term to go to a family wedding or christening, then I don't think the headmistress should. And I know it's slightly different, but it's all about... I was thinking about this a lot yesterday. Not a lot. I've got life. But she's the head of that school. She's the head of that business. She should be leading by example. You have to lead... If you're leading a team, and she's leading 2 teams, the teachers and the pupils, you lead by example. Tony says... Simon says, I can't bear it when people say hards rather than hearts. And Tony says, if these parents really want to take time off in term time, this is a great point, why don't they just lie? Any feedback on that, Catherine?
What do you mean, lie?
All right, I want to take my boys off of school. You're the headmistress. I want to take my boys off of school.
Off of school? Out of school?
I want to take my boys off of the school curriculum for a week because we're going to go to Ibiza. Can I have that time?
No.
Oh, miss, I want to take the boys out of school for a week because their nan is dying and it's the last week they'll get to spend with her. Would that be okay?
No.
Sorry?
Yes.
Is it just because I've mentioned the Ibiza thing before? Forget that.
Okay.
Forget that because that was
off because of Nan.
That was my opening gambit. Yeah, we're not going to Ibiza. I mean, she's dying in Ibiza. They may come back from the last week of their nan's life with a tan.
There are other lies you could get away with.
Go on.
Maybe not with a tan. I don't want to divulge my secrets.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off this morning on the Great North Road, it's looking very slow in both directions at the moment, approaching the Black Cat roundabout. And the M1 looking very heavy, heading southbound between junction 12 for Flitwick and junction 9 for Redbourne. Taking a look at the M25, that's very heavy moving, heading anti-clockwise between junction 20 at Kings Langley and junction 16 for the M40. And the A41 North Western Avenue, that's looking rather slow between just around the Dome roundabout. And the M40 on cameras very very heavy heading northbound from the Denham roundabout to the M25. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Oh, the pedant who says that the third day of the week is Wednesday is now saying it's scone. It's not, it's scone. And can we find out in the last 30 minutes of the show, why do some people, instead of saying ask, say ox? I'm oxing the question today. 08459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8:30. I'm Simon Oxley. A governor at the Bedfordshire school where the head teacher is going on holiday during term time is calling for the resignation of the chair of governors. The Reverend Jeremy Crocker says he disagrees with the decision to allow Elstow Lower School head teacher Jenny Winder to take a break in the Caribbean in January. The South African athlete Oscar Pistorius will learn later this morning whether he'll be jailed for shooting dead his girlfriend Reva Steenkamp on Valentine's Day last year. And strong winds are expected to cause disruption across much of the region today as the remnants of Hurricane Gonzalo sweep in from the Atlantic.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Manchester United drew 2-2 at West Brom in the Premier League last night. United twice came from behind to earn a point, which leaves them 10 points behind leaders Chelsea. There's a full Football League programme tonight. Championship leaders Watford host fellow promotion chasers Nottingham Forest in the first home game for new Hornets head coach Slavisa Jokanovic.
It's a big day for me in all the aspects, especially because it'll be first time in the ground, and especially because we're gonna fight against, we're gonna play against one historical club with one ex-football player and now manager of the Nottingham Forest.
In League One, Milton Keynes Dons play their first home league game for a month against Fleetwood. And in League Two, Luton manager John Still welcomes his former club Dagenham to Kenilworth Road.
The most important thing is the game. You know, when it's all over, it's good again. But, you know, I speak to Wayne, their manager, sort of, I don't know, possibly every day. I ain't today. We haven't spoken today and we probably won't.
Also in League Two, leaders Wickham are at Exeter, Stevenage go to Portsmouth. There's commentary on Watford, MK Dons, Luton and Stevenage in Three Counties Sport from 7. In the Champions League, Manchester City kick off at 5 p.m. our time away to CSKA Moscow. Later, Chelsea host the Slovenian side Maribor. And Bedford Rugby Club have been awarded the points from their opening British and Irish Cup match against the Cornish Pirates 9 days ago. The Blues lost the game, but the Pirates have been penalised by the organising committee for a breach of rules concerning uncontested scrums. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 9.
Call 08459 455 555.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
You can't. So I'm just getting ready to, put a bid on a Gretsch guitar on eBay, but then do the show. And then what did you just shout in my ear?
Give Colin an extra 2 minutes.
She says, Colin's there, he's just gone for a wee. Well, I can't function under these things.
Well, nor can he.
So why do some people say ox instead of ask? Mm-hmm. What words, when they are mispronounced, do you dislike? Wednesday is the third day of the week. It's not. The week does not start on a Sunday. The week ends on a Sunday. The week begins on a Monday. And acts you do not like. We're keeping you awake, are we, Kels?
A bit.
We've had jugglers, we've had fire eaters.
Stilts, I can't bear. What's the point in that?
Oh, I've always wanted to go on them.
They're really easy.
Just to see what everyone else sees.
Do you know who's really good at stilts? My brother-in-law. Do you know why? Plasterer. Makes work fun. No, they need it for ceilings.
Well, they got ladders, innit?
No, they have stilts.
No, they have ladders.
No, they have stilts.
If a plasterer was doing my ceiling on stilts, I would fire him. I'd come in and I'd say...
They don't need the baggy trousers.
I just imagine him walking.
Who does this clown think he is? Out. No, but seriously, get out, mate. Why haven't you got a ladder? Why don't you construct one of those things?
He can't hear you. He's too high up.
I don't live in the Sistine Chapel anymore, unfortunately. That was a weird period of my life. Yeah. Colin, have you had your wee yet?
Yes, thank you. And wash my hands.
Good.
Oh, flipping
Hygiene first.
Right, what do you want, Colin? Talk to Catherine. I'm busy on eBay.
No, talk to Iain. It's his job. Iain, open your mic. Iain. Iain. Iain.
What are you two like?
Iain.
What are you two like?
What are you like? What are you doing, Colin? Turn your radio off.
I've just done it.
Iain. Iain. Iain, you don't need another guitar. Iain.
It's a 1968 Gretsch bass.
Doesn't make you play any better.
Talk to Colin. I don't want to talk to Colin. He's boring. He's boring.
He's got a very good point.
I bet he hasn't.
He has.
What's your good point, Colin?
Right. With regard to Mrs. What's her name?
What are you talking about?
The headmistress.
Mrs. Winder.
Winder, that's it. I think she's just digging a hole for herself now. And we don't know the facts. And I think it is about time she...
You said he had a good point to make, Kath.
He has. Just let him get it out.
It's taking forever.
She comes clean. I mean, I've heard this morning they use the word special leave.
All of this is getting... We've had special leave, we've had emergency leave. I don't think that's what's being said.
Well, I heard it. I heard it on your programme from someone.
We finish at 9 o'clock, Colin.
All right. Don't spit your dummy.
Goodness sakes. I'm losing the will to live.
Yeah, I just think it's time that she came out and laid this to rest.
You want to see her come clean?
Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed. And the good point there, Catherine, was...
He thinks she's making it worse by not speaking up.
Well, why didn't he say that?
Well, didn't get much of a chance.
Anthony's around Bedford. Morning, Anthony. What?
Good morning.
What you got for us, boss?
Right, you're going on about the Sunday being the Monday being the first day of the week.
Correct.
Why is it on my phone and they're all calendars? They all start from a Sunday.
No, they don't. Let me go to my calendar on my phone. It starts on Monday. Next. No. Are you saying all calendars start on Sunday? My iPhone, I've just gone to the date.
Mobile phones, they'll start on a Sunday.
No, I've got mine is on a mobile phone. It is it's an iPhone. It starts on a Monday. Thank you very much indeed. I believe you were just pwned.
Did you just take pwnership?
Totally. Pwned him. Monday is the first day of the week. It's the first day of the week.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, yeah.
It's the weekend starts here, 5:15 on a Friday evening, ready, steady, go. The weekend starts here. Okay? And at no point over that said weekend... So the weekend is Friday evening and Saturday? Oh, it doesn't make no sense. Sunday is the weekend, is the end of the weekend. That's why everyone gets the Monday morning feeling on a Sunday. Because they know they're going back to... All right, if Sunday was the first day of the week, why did I never go to school on a Sunday except for Sunday school? Ladies and gentlemen, I rest my case.
Wow.
Thank you, Your Honour. No further questions.
Thank you, Ron Paul.
Elizabeth is in Charlton. Morning, Elizabeth.
Hello.
What you got for us?
I was ringing about the mispronunciation of theatre and theatre.
I'm going to interrupt you there. It's mispronunciation, but carry on.
Theatre and theatre.
Yeah.
Theatre.
It's theatre, isn't it? My mum says theatre, and it's just her working class roots.
Yeah, me too. The other thing is can and can, because it's can because you're English. You wouldn't say Paris.
I'm going to let you go because the line is awful. But point got. She's talking about can and cans.
No, you just have a chat with
Pardon?
Can and cans, as in the place.
All right.
You're right. We don't say Paris. Yet we have to say their names. Foreign names, we have to say Pierre.
Yeah.
No, hang on, that's not a good example.
You have to say Pierre.
Pierre. But she's right. We don't say
Madrid.
Yeah. We don't say
Sevilla.
We don't say Newcastle. We should say Newcastle.
No, it's not Newcastle.
It's Newcastle.
It's Newcastle.
Okay, well we don't say that.
It's Newcastle.
Okay, we don't say Glasgow.
I do.
Well, you're ooh.
Wow.
Nearly. Pam's on the line. Morning, Pam.
Good morning, Ian.
What would you like to say?
How on earth could Monday be the first day of the week?
Let me think about it, because that's when the week starts.
Oh, yes. And how long since iPhone been invented?
I guess the first iPhone came out. I remember my friend showing me one. We were in a pub, and I remember leaving the pub, and I knocked a glass over. It was so embarrassing. I'm going to say 7. I'm going to say 7 years, Pam, but I don't know if that's accurate. I could ask Siri.
Sunday is the first day of the week.
And you've proved that because the iPhone is only 7 years old?
Yes.
That's not the best. That's not the best legal argument, is it?
It is. What's your proof?
Well, no, your proof is that iPhones are only 7 years old, you silly sausage. That's not proof. What makes you think that Sunday is the first day of the week?
Because I know it.
Right, here we go.
There you go, there's your Ev.
I wish you were my lawyer. In fact, I'm glad you're not. But, right, all right, let's go back to God, yeah?
Yes.
Right. On the seventh day, he rested. So you're saying me the seventh day was Saturday? It was
Saturday.
So Saturday is the day of rest?
Yes, it is.
You are so bonkers, my love.
Okay, listen to me, right?
I'm trying to.
Which day is Good Friday? Which day is they said Jesus Christ crucified?
The what?
Which day they say he crucified on the cross?
I don't know. Was it for Good Friday? It couldn't have been that good because he got crucified. That was Bad Friday. That was that was Black Friday, and that's when the banks crashed. I'm so confused, Pam. When was Jesus crucified? About 2,000 years ago.
And a Friday. Then the Bible said a Sabbath straight on, and then he rose the first day of the week.
The Bible's wrong.
The Sunday. Okay, and you're right.
Thank you, Pam. Pam.
Yes.
I'm making an assumption here.
I am a new caller.
Oh well, bless you for. How long have you been listening for?
I listen a long time, and sometimes I want to hit you because
Sorry?
you just wind people up all the time.
I'm glad you've noticed,
Hey,
Pam.
Pam, you know where we are. I'll always let you in.
Don't encourage the listeners to come and hit me. Pam, I'm going to spell a word. Could you say it for me?
No.
Oh. A-S-K.
Ask?
Now, why are you're saying ox, aren't you?
Sorry?
Are you... Say that again.
A-S-K?
Yeah.
Is it act?
Now, you're saying axe, aren't you? I want to ask you a question. Hello?
I don't know.
Pam, nice to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed. We were all getting confused there. The sound of the printer wasn't helping.
Gosh, they're printing off a lot of stuff.
Yeah, who is doing that? Who's doing that?
Guys, it's a live studio, guys. 08459 455 555.
Are you going to explain why you asked her to spell that?
Because there are okay, I made an assumption there. I made an assumption that Pam was black. And I've noticed, as I'm sure you have, that many black people say arcs instead of ask, and I'm curious to find out exactly which group of black people it is and why.
My theory is Caribbean.
Yeah?
I think it's... I don't know.
Pam sounded vaguely Caribbean. We're making lots of assumptions, Pam. I appreciate you calling, because I know it can be quite... She was a little bit worried I'd shout at her, but she was
She was
good.
great, though, and seriously, if you do want to come round, I will let you in.
Don't encourage the...
I'll put the key under the mat.
Don't encourage the listeners to come and hit
Just
me.
Pam. Just Pam.
08459 455 555. Maybe you hadn't noticed that you say arcs. Maybe you don't notice, because I spelled ask and she said arcs.
Or maybe it's an accent thing. You know, like me and Bath and Duck and Path.
Well, it can't be an accent thing because it's a mispronunciation.
No, but
you're swapping two letters.
Yeah, but it might be dialect.
Dialect is different from accent.
I know, but...
Well, you said accent, mate.
All right, accent and
At least I think that's what you said. I'm really struggling to work out...
Wow.
Pete's in Wolverton. Morning, Peter.
Good morning, Ian. Peace be with you, brother.
Thank you very much indeed, sir. What would you like to say?
Words and phrases. The word us instead of... Well, they use us. Lots of people.
Yeah?
You must have heard that. And the other phrase is, you know. Oh, my goodness me. How many people... every other sentence it's you know.
When I was a kid, because the word more recently was like, when I was a kid, and I think this was a regional thing, was right. We say right all the time. So, you know, right, we were going down to the shops, right, and what happened, right, was this guy, right?
My dad used to go crackers. It'll say, he goes this. We didn't say he said, or he exclaimed.
Yeah.
He goes...
Yeah. He goes a boom, boom, boom.
He goes...
A boom, boom,
He goes,
boom.
oi, what you doing? I goes, none of your business. He goes, well, get out.
Here's one.
He goes...
Where did he go?
Here's one.
Go anywhere.
Here's one. So,
Turned around.
Turned around. So, right, she turned around to me and said, stop that. So I turned around to her and I said, I'm not stopping that. Well, she turned around to me and said, I've had enough of this nonsense. So I turned... How many times are you what are you turning around for?
Dancing.
Why were they facing the other way in the first place?
Well, exactly. Peter, thank you very much indeed. 08459 455 555 is the telephone number. Can we, in the last 15 minutes, solve the great mystery of life? Why do some people say arcs instead of ask?
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off on the Great North Road, that's looking rather slow moving on the speed sensors this morning, approaching the Black Cat roundabout. The M1 heading northbound, very slow at the moment between junction 13 at Bedford and junction 14 for Milton Keynes. Taking a look in Hemel Hempstead, the A41, that's looking slow heading southbound between the Hemel Hempstead turnoff and junction 20 for the M25. And the M25 south, very slow anti-clockwise between junction 20 at Kings Langley and junction 16 for the M40. Delays at the moment of about 15 minutes on Thameslink services in and out of Bedford due to a signalling problem. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Nicola. It's 8:45. It's Tuesday, the 21st of October. I'm going to go for a fry-up in about 25 minutes. A governor at the Bedfordshire school where the head teacher is going on holiday during term time is calling for the resignation of the chair of governors. The South African athlete Oscar Pistorius is about to learn whether he'll be jailed for shooting dead his girlfriend Reva Steenkamp on Valentine's Day last year. And strong winds are expected to cause disruption across much of the United Kingdom today as the remnants of Hurricane Gonzalo sweep in from the Atlantic. Let's get the weather. Here's Kate.
Beds, Hearts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. The Met Office has a yellow weather warning in place for strong winds. We could be seeing gusts later on of between 40 50 miles per hour, perhaps a touch more over higher ground. At the moment, it's not too bad. It is fairly breezy, but it is going to strengthen. We've seen some really squally showers blowing through as well. The good news is with these showers, some of them are heavy, but they're blowing through quickly. They're not lasting for very long, thanks to that breeze. Now, we have some sunny spells between them, so for small instances today, it is actually going to feel quite nice, just a bit blowy, but as we head through the afternoon, that wind is likely to get a little stronger. Temperature, though, is a bit different. It's working backwards today. It's mild at the moment, but eventually the wind is going to shift direction, bringing the air from the west and the northwest, so it is going to get colder as we head through the day. The maximum temperature later on likely to drop down to around 12 Celsius. Overnight tonight, eventually the showers die away. We're hanging on to a bit of a breeze. It eases a little bit, but it is still breezy. That's helping to keep the air nice and churned up, but the minimum temperature down to 4 Celsius. It is going to feel cold, and a cold start for Wednesday morning. Sunshine at first, but then the cloud increases. Temperatures tomorrow afternoon up to 13 Celsius. And that's your forecast.
Giza?
I don't know you at all.
Every weekday from 3.
Good afternoon, welcome to the show.
Local people.
What's your story?
Seems there's a law for them and then there's one for the press, and I disagree with what they're saying.
Local views.
In some cases, sort of 40% loss in value of their properties.
Has Kenny Luton got it right?
There is a responsibility when you're paid from the public purse.
Local life.
Do you want to know how much my carer's allowance goes up by every April when the tax year changes? £2.
Roberto Peroni.
And is it fair to target people on benefits?
Weekdays from 3. BBC Three Counties Radio. Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yes, Catherine Boyle.
We've had a text through from Jack in Cambridge.
Morning, Jack. Cambridge, eh? Oh, that's the home of the intellectual cycle rider.
Beautiful.
Beautiful Cambridge.
And a discotheque that I once frequented.
Oh, I bet you...
Yeah. Yeah,
did you?
Actually, yeah.
Oh, dear.
I hate middle-class hyacinth bucket types that pronounce foreign foods properly, says Jack.
Yeah.
For example, focaccia and chorizo.
I hate newsreaders.
Even Simon Oxley?
Especially Simon Oxley.
I think he could take you.
He probably could, actually. He's like the Ram Man in He-Man. No, newsreaders that go, and there have been outbreaks of violence in Afghanistan earlier on today, and later on in the Lebanon. Kofi Annan will be having peace talks there with Gaddafi. Silly, isn't it?
I know, but I used to like doing it just for a laugh.
You like doing it because you like showing off a little bit, because you can go and speak foreign.
Yeah.
I could speak foreign if I wanted to, I just don't want to.
What is with those eyes you're doing?
Those are my real eyes.
Listen to this.
Go on then.
Axe is a dialect usage from the southern states of the US, says OC. In Bedfordshire, locals say Pacific for specific. Why do BBC presenters called Ibiza?
Ibiza.
It's Ibiza, according to the Venga Boys, and I've got no reason to question them.
You wouldn't want to question the Venga Boys unless, who knows what they've been involved in.
I used to quite like the Venga bus.
I didn't know there was a Venga bus.
It's a Venga bus.
Was it like the Mystery Machine? Did they all get solve mysteries?
In many ways, yeah. Venga's actually quite a bit rude. Anyway, Mrs. Winder should not be going on holiday when good attendance pupils are turned down family time, which is precious. This is an anonymous text.
Yeah, it would be.
Mrs. Winder believes one rule for one and another for another in all her work, school situations. Oh, this is a bit personal. A lot of people are afraid to speak out on camera because of repercussions for children. Reverend Jeremy Crocker is right. She should not be allowed such special leave when there is a long time to resolve whatever emergency it is.
We don't know what the issue is. I mean, if she's ill... If she's seriously ill, and let's jump to a wild conclusion. This is her last hurrah. Then good luck to her.
Well, I hope.
But I hope it's not the case. But you know what I'm saying? If there is a serious illness that means that this time has to be taken off, well, then good luck to her. But it's the not saying, and of course I'm not wishing illness on her. It's the not saying that seems unfair.
Yeah. We've got this through from John in Datchworth, who says, this head teacher should be allowed to go on their trip. Then all the parents of children who attend this school will not have to worry about having requests refused, and no fines will be able to be issued. It's a win-win situation, says John. No, I don't think it works like that.
Andy says, why are Saturday and Sunday called the weekend and not the week start?
Why?
Well, because it's the weekend. I can't get my head around.
The end of the week,
Correct.
Isn't it?
That's what weekend means, Kelly. Well done.
Thank you. Welcome.
In Spanish, fin de semana.
Oh, really? What does that mean? The end of the house?
The end of the week.
The end of the week. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
In French,
le
weekend.
Oh, I know. Listen, I know
they haven't got a word for it.
I know we've got a fill for 7 minutes, but I can do better than that. Trust me, I can do better than that.
Go on.
All right, hang on a minute.
Hit me with it.
Oh, don't tempt me, love. We've not even talked about the exploding boobs.
Well, let's not talk about them.
Well, boobs are exploding.
It said something like 1,500 exploding boobs. I've not heard one. You'd think if they were all going off, we would hear something.
There was something I was going to mention. Right. Politics, right? You know I love my politics.
Yeah.
Right. The Green Party overtake the Lib Dems in the polls. Right? A surge in support for the Green Party has propelled it into 4th place in the polls ahead of the Liberal Democrats for the first time in a decade. With the greatest of respect, why does anybody vote Green? Because they're never going to achieve anything, are they? They're not, it's a wasted vote. We should just say to the Greens, guys, well done. You've made a few changes over the last few years. You've influenced a few policies, but you're out of the running now. There's no point in them, is there?
Because but then we might as well just do away with democracy and say, most people are going to vote this anyway. Let's not vote at all.
In many ways, Catherine, some people would think that we have done away with democracy.
It's the multicoloured tapestry that is British politics.
But having the Green Party, they don't actually achieve. They achieve stuff in the 90s.
People used to say that about the Liberal Democrats.
Well, I mean, really. It just seems...
They started to get very important.
It just seems if you're going to go and have a vote... Why would you vote Green? And I know lots of people... Well, no, lots of people don't vote Green. It's just, you might as well go and get your vote, fold it up into a paper aeroplane, stand on top of a tall building, throw it, and see where it lands. If it lands in the ballot box, beautiful. If it doesn't, well, it doesn't matter. It was a good paper aeroplane.
I like the Greens.
I used to like the Greens. They're an idealist organisation for the youth.
Exactly. So if you'd rather not ruin your vote, spoil your vote, and maybe... get one in the eye for the bigger parties. Sometimes that's why people vote for them. Other people feel like we should be saving the planet, and the Greens are the only ones who've got an eye on that.
Well, yeah, I suppose so.
Come on, don't be mean to the Greens.
Let's not be beastly to the Germans. There's a good song, if ever. BBC Wrapped for letting radio stars swear before Watershed. This isn't us this time.
Wow.
It's not you.
Who did it? Who done it?
Well, pop singer Lily Allen. Radio 1 breached standards by allowing singers Lily Allen and Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran, there's a pointless person. He's a thing, isn't he?
I wouldn't have thought he was a swearer.
Oh.
I mean, Lily Allen.
Trying to be a tough guy, isn't he? Sheeran, trying to be the tough man by swearing. But Lily Allen, the BBC is now set... Oh, for goodness sake.
They let her swear. Did they know she was going to, or did she swear?
The clampdown comes after singer Lily Allen said the F word 6 times in her set at the Big Weekend Festival in May, broadcast on Radio 1 from 5:30 to 6:15.
That is a bit much.
It emerged the corporation knew Miss Allen planned to sing songs with explicit lyrics but assumed she would self-edit the offensive language. Pop star Ed Sheeran also said effing on stage. OK, so do you know how the BBC are going to deal with this, guys? Instead of, I don't know, introducing, I don't know, a 7-second delay and having someone monitoring it so that if a swear pops up, you can dip it. Easy. Instead of doing that, do you know what they're going to do? To stop these pop stars and rock singers swearing.
Make them sign a sheet?
No, not even doing that. The BBC is now set to put up signs in dressing rooms warning stars performing live they'll be pulled off air if they use foul language.
Some stars will see that as a challenge.
Of course. It's like when 5 Live got Rage Against the Machine on to do that song, Flip You, I Won't Do What You Tell Me.
Yeah.
And so they were telling a band whose main edict was, you can't tell me what to do, to not swear. Well, you can't tell them what to do, so guess what? They swore! And putting aside, most pop stars, they can't read because they're too off their mind on crazy drugs, or they're illiterate. Not these two, of course.
Some of them are just plain defiant.
They'll
like your
only
Oasis.
they'll only be taken off air, though. They'll still be able to carry on performing in front of all those people.
Hey, if you're swearing in a live environment, then that's fine. If you're swearing in a pop concert, do you know what? That's kind of a different thing. And then there's the issue of, do you take your kids there? It's pop stars. It's kind of fine. But on the radio, you could be listening in the car. And it is. I don't like bad language on the radio. It's one of those things. Well, I did an internet show for a while where you're allowed to swear, and for a week it's like quite good fun.
Yeah.
And then
like Hollyoaks Late Night.
Yeah, like Rude Hollyoaks. You know, you get to see a bit of boob and stuff. But then after I go, actually, this isn't adding anything to it. In fact, it's only detracting from it. It's only detracting. We're going to go live to Justin Dealey with this story about Jenny Winder and Elstow School. Morning, Justin.
Hello, Ian. It just rumbles on, this story, doesn't it?
Yep, go on. What you got?
We've got a parent here who's giving us their reaction to the letter. Jenny Winder, again, outside the school this morning. Certainly not hiding, but she doesn't want to talk to us. So here we have a parent. You received this letter yesterday. She explains how permission was given for this break in January. What's your reaction to this letter as a parent? When you got that, what went through your mind yesterday afternoon?
That she's sort of sucking up, really, isn't she? She's, you know, like you say, outside the school, sort of, good morning. She's never like that. Exceptional circumstances that she keeps going on about. Well, she's failed to tell anyone what these exceptional circumstances are. And to be fair, unless somebody has died over there or anything like that, I don't see what sort of exceptional circumstances there can be, to be honest.
So you're not very happy at all, are you?
No. What if, you know, one rule for one and another rule for us, obviously.
Okay. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. That's a parent joining us live there outside Elstow School. You are going to hear some more reaction after 9. Some parents, I have to say, have come up to the car this morning and said to me, this is a non-story. What are you doing here? Just to be fair, just to be balanced here, some parents are still quite angry that we and other media outlets are talking about this, but it's completely split down the middle, Ian. So some parents, like you've heard there, are absolutely furious about this, and other parents can't understand what the fuss is all about. So it's a real split right down the middle here.
Justin, excellent stuff indeed. Thank you very much indeed. Before Miss Allen took to the stage, presenter Scott Mills warned listeners her songs could contain foul language. He probably ripped that warning off of someone else. He apologised each time she swore and after the performance. The thing is, it was 5:30 till 6:15. 1, apology. 2, I think we have to end it there. Wouldn't you, really?
Yeah.
If it looked like it was going to become a regular thing.
Well, and also, you don't apologise for language that may happen before the watershed.
No.
It should be an assumption that it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And come on, Lily Allen's not daft. She knows she shouldn't be doing that.
And I like Lily Allen. This isn't a knock against Lily Allen.
And her records are not for children, and
No.
she's said that in the past, and I don't think she should be censored on her records.
I think Lily Allen is brilliant. I like her. I like what she does. I think she's a breath of fresh air in the stale world of pop. But BBC, it's like if you know, apologies during the next 3 hours of radio. Jonathan Vernon Smith might drop a few F-bombs. Then every time he does drop one, which he drops them all the time in that studio, Tim went on and apologised in his own unique way. We get in terrible trouble.
But the fact that they apologised ahead meant that they were expecting it to happen. Oh no!
Well, on that bombshell, up yours.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Starting off this morning on the A421, it's looking rather heavy moving at the moment at London Road on the sensors. Also the M1, very slow moving between junction 12 and junction 10 for Luton Airport Spur Road. The A1M rather heavy between junction 9 at Letchworth and junction 7 for Stevenage. And the A41's looking very heavy moving between the Hemel Hempstead turnoff and junction 20 for the M25. Delays at the moment on Thameslink in and out of Bedford. It's all due to a signalling problem there. Nicola Richards, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Giza.
Thank you, Nicola. Thank you, Catherine. Excellent work today. She was doing lots of stuff behind the scenes, more than normal. You were having cornflakes. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Justin. Let's end it with this, shall we?
I don't know you at all.
Thank you very much.
Local and vocal across Beds, Herts and Bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Ian. Good morning. Welcome to the JVS show. I'm Jonathan Vernon-Smith. It's Tuesday. It's 9 o'clock, and on today's big phone-in, do you think Jenny Winder should cancel her Caribbean holiday? BBC Three Counties Radio has